like, oh yeah, so the just what
Wow.
we're basically trying to do is the justice system is shit. Full stop. Like it's just a crock of shit. You know what I mean? Everyone will say it's good, it's bad, but even Hoof will tell you it's not all that good because he got convicted for something he claims he was innocent for. What I'm trying to say is that everyone's got a story when the law works good.
No, but if any, all right, listen to this, right, Esau. If anybody confronts Brian about anything and tries to get on his panel, he goes, oh, they're a troll or they're just fucking about. They're trying to pawn bomb me. I've never pawn bombed no one.
You've been over
there.
there.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. But he wouldn't be on before.
Is that Chrissy Vince? Is that Chrissy Vince here? No way.
Pardon?
It's Chrissy Morris.
Oh no way! It's Chrissy Morris.
It's Chrissy Morris.
Oh, good evening, Chrissy.
How we doing, guys?
We're good. We're good. We're good.
How we doing? You're right.
Yeah.
Just to clear up, I've just sort of looked at my YouTube and I've just heard a little bit to clear it up. Having no evidence, no charges would be brought. Having some evidence, whether it be circumstantial, whatever, that is what initiates like court action. You know, it's very, very unlikely that you'd be charged with something if there's no evidence. You can be completely innocent of a crime, but
charged with it.
There'd still be some evidence. For instance, you know, if they said, "Oh, your car was speeding on the M25," if you say, "Well, I was on the M25, but I wasn't speeding," you might well be telling the truth. But there is circumstantial evidence because you've admitted being in the place where they're saying the crime happened. So, you know, and every case on its own merits, guys. You can't use a big old brush like that. I know people that are guilty that have got away with it, and I know people innocent that have got done for it. So, you know, it's just one of them things, guys, where
on the
door.
Pardon?
On the day.
Half of it matters whether or not you've got a kind judge, because a lot of people will only do stuff.
The judge won't leave you on the day you'll go to court, and you know that something bad's happened to you, even if you are innocent. That's how it works. They're human beings.
Yeah, I mean, if the judge looks at you and thinks you look guilty for whatever reason, if he's got any bias, and you know there can be a bias for any reason. I mean, if you're wearing I don't know, if you're wearing a red jacket and he's just bumped into someone in the street that was wearing a red jacket that called him a see you next Tuesday, then when he gets in court, in his head, he's going to be going, people in red jackets hate me and dislike me and blah, blah, blah. There's so much that you need to take into account. You know, if the guy's got up...
What sort of court? A magistrate's or a crown court?
Any. I mean...
you mean, if it was in the crown, if he was summing up, he would make it look like he was guilty?
Well, no, I mean, the judge can direct the jury, throughout the whole trial. So, you know, it does matter. A lot of the time, it'll matter about the judge in a Crown Court, because judges are the top in the Crown Court. If you're in a magistrate's court, the one that knows... If you're in a magistrate's court, the one that knows their stuff is the clerk that sits in front of the three on the bench. You know, if you've got three magistrates on the bench or a district judge, whatever, you know, a lot of the time the clerk will know more than definitely the magistrate. So sometimes the clerk's better than the judge. You know, if it's a district judge or whatever, you get good and bad in all. I mean, you can get a good plumber, a bad plumber. You can get a good judge, you can get a bad judge. You can get a judge that's had enough for the day and wants to get out there and go to the golf course. You can have a judge that looks at you and says, you know what, you remind me of the person that bullied me when I was at school. And for that reason, they'll find you guilty.
You can get a good counsellor or a bad counsellor.
You can. And do you know what? There are so many bad counsellors you wouldn't believe. I'm here in a private capacity, by the way. So you know about me then, fella?
Yeah, a little bit, but I don't want to get into it. I'm not saying nothing because I don't really know. I'm not getting involved with none of this bollocks.
No worries. No, I was just going to ask, what do you think you know about me, mate?
No, not that much. That you was BNP?
No,
pictures
never.
of you out there that you was BNP.
No, there isn't. There isn't. I was never BNP. I've never been BNP.
I've seen the pictures.
Sorry?
I've seen the pictures of you standing in the BNP.
No, you haven't. You've seen the pictures of me with a local non-political group that was about unsustainable housing. That's not BNP, fella. I've never been BNP. I've never been anything. I've never, ever had any political membership to any party whatsoever.
It's Russell McGarry for you and Hoof.
All right. I mean, what you're talking about is in the little place that I live, there is we've got no train station. We've got very, very bad transport links, and they're putting up thousands and thousands of homes that the local people cannot afford to buy. So the homes they're building will have to go to commuters that won't be able to get in and out of the district because we've got no train station. We've got very bad roads, and they're not building any more infrastructure. So what I was against unsustainable homes. Now that is the group that you've seen the photo from, the Unsustainable Homes. It's not BNP. There were a couple of people in that group that were BNP. After speaking to me, they left the BNP. There were also people in that group that were Conservative. There were also people in that group that were Labour. Most of the people's political persuasions in that group, believe it or not, would probably fall under Liberal Democrat. I'm definitely not a Liberal Democrat, fella. So it's just one of them things. I mean, if I get photographed with someone that is a policeman, for instance, does that mean I'm Old Bill?
No, but I'm just saying there's a picture of you with a gang of them, and you're all handing out. You've got leaflets in your hands, BNP, something like that.
It's not BNP. It wasn't BNP.
Oh.
It was for a parish council. I mean, this is where you guys need to do a little bit more research and maybe ask me. A parish council, it is non-political. Yeah, there's no politics at a parish council. Well, there are, but there's not supposed to be any politics at a parish council. You don't sign up as a Conservative or anything like that, or a Labour or a Lib Dem or anything at these parish council elections, because it's meant to be a non-political role. You're allowed to have a political view, but you shouldn't bring them forward at a parish council. So, that's completely blown out the water. Anything else you want to know, bro?
But you've been listening to Russell McGarry too much.
No, I haven't been listening to him too much. I'm just saying I see paperwork. That's what I'm saying. I see paperwork.
What paperwork have you seen, bruv?
No, just that with the picture of you with the thingy.
Yeah. I mean, there was also a photoshopped piece of paperwork that was meant to be for the election or something, wasn't it?
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, Photoshop, mate. Photoshop. See, the thing is, and again, if you want to look into it,
why would they want to Photoshop stuff on you? Why would they want to discredit
because they want to make me out to be a racist when I'm not. It's called a smear campaign, bruv. Now, if you want to go and look at go to the Malden District Council website, and have a look at what's called the Register of Interests. Now, everyone that's a councillor has got to fill in a Register of Interests. It's a legal obligation. And have a look at mine. When it comes to the signature, it will be what's called redacted. A big black line will be put over my signature. Now, anything that comes from that council, they have to do that to my signature on that paperwork. Why hasn't the photoshopped one got that?
Signature there. And this is what amazes me, Christy, that you are an elected person with credibility, and people, the hardcore people, the 20 people from the fucking Wash channel, they believe this shit. They actually believe you're an elected person with credibility.
Let them believe it. Let them believe it. I mean, the thing is, the only thing, my favourite one out of all of the things that's been said about me, and the only thing that hasn't been said about me so far, is that I'm a child killer. I've been called a serial killer. I've been called a drug dealer. I've been called a paedophile. I've been called everything but a child killer. And my favourite one so far, I've got two actually now. My trolls have said that I kidnapped Madeleine McCann. Now, I've never been to Portugal, and I haven't kidnapped Madeleine McCann. The other one that I think is really funny is apparently I used to get rid of bodies for the Kray twins. I was an 8-year-old Kray twin gravedigger, apparently. Now, whatever you guys want to believe, you are welcome to. But the facts are that I'm not anything like what they're trying to portray. And when you're over the target, you expect the flak. They are jealous.
They're trying to say you had 5 guns given back to you by the CPS.
Mate, Well, I thought it was the police, actually. I mean, I haven't heard it directly, but, I've not got any guns. I've never had any guns. Yeah, I do like military history, and I've got things like, my favourite part of military history has got to be the old Greek wars and stuff like that. The swords and the sandals. And yeah, I've got a Spartan sword. I had it bought for me. Someone bought me a Spartan sword, and I've got the helmet as well. It's like, oh my God, he's got swords. Yeah, I love military history. Is there a problem with that? I've got no convictions for hitting people with weapons or having firearms or anything like that. And honestly, who believes that the police or the CPS would give guns back to someone?
If they were imitation, they would.
Well, yeah, but what's the problem with having an imitation gun? Because I've had imitation firearms before. They're not illegal. What's wrong with that? That's like, for instance, someone that's interested in steam trains having a bloody model railway set.
Well, I think
I'm
that was
history
your
buff.
name, wasn't it?
I like military history specifically. That's what I've been a martial artist all my life. I've been a fighter all of my life. I like combat. I like combat history, combat sport. I like anything to do with combat.
Hello,
What's
mate.
the problem with having something that you can legally obtain?
Hello, mate. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, mate.
Welcome to my channel.
How we doing, fella? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad still. Not too bad. What about yourself?
Yeah, getting there, mate. Getting there. I'm not on long because my battery's going to go. Your one did earlier.
Yeah, someone was saying, ask about some hidden pictures on some phones or something. Hidden phone
Yeah,
pictures.
What's that
obviously,
What's
the
all
thing
that
is,
about?
real. I'm not going to get overly into discussing my children because I don't need to discuss my children with anyone. I keep my private life private, my personal life private, and my children. Obviously, I've got custody problems with my ex-partner, so I can't talk about them. So I won't be talking about them a lot. But what pictures? There are no pictures.
Wow.
If there was any pictures, I'd have been arrested for it. You guys could go and find the press releases on it.
Just Paul Hart and Roy Blackburn talking shit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, I am on here, yeah, and I use my own face. Everyone knows what I look like. Everyone knows my name. Everyone knows where I am, what I do. My life is pretty much an open book. Now, I can speak from my. One second, bruv. I can speak from truth, from my truth. Yeah, an honestly held belief, and I can tell you what I think and what I know, and give opinion. All these trolls is all they can do is come up with wild, malicious allegation. They can't come up with any facts because there aren't any.
Can I explain?
And they
Sometimes
hide.
Guilty,
They hide behind avatars.
To these people.
Sorry.
Why don't you sit there and talk to these people that you won't talk to?
They won't talk to him, Popeye.
Well,
Chris,
no,
can you please
bruv, I'm here.
give everyone a rundown?
I'm here. I'm here to speak. The thing is, right, is like, it's I've not got a lot of time in my life, to be honest, fella. Yeah, I will speak to anyone pretty much. I try not to give time to trolls. Now, there is nothing for me to gain from speaking to these absolute idiots, and is all they want to do is build an audience on the back of slagging me off. So for that reason, I'm not bothered about. I mean, for instance, that Wendy the other week, I've heard some horrible shit come out of her mouth. She's a racist. I don't do racist, fella. I can't be arsed with them. As a rule, I try not to talk to anyone that I don't know who they are, because
you've got a Bob Marley album.
Sorry?
No, nothing. Forget about it.
I said, run down on Russ McGarry, Chrissy, please, because Real doesn't realise that he just came about. He was about in the beginning, like last year, and he went offline for a bit, but he doesn't know Russ McGarry like the way you know Russ McGarry and Hoof.
I mean, I've met Russ McGarry. I know Russ McGarry, yeah, and I can give you my opinion. But ultimately, if people want to find out for themselves, they're more, they're going to have to, and they will. They'll find out eventually. I mean, the first time that I actually sort of like saw the real Russ McGarry was when he was just blatantly racist about a very nice lady, using the P word about this lady. And I'm like, mate, that's you know, you do realise we're in a year to, you know, we're in modern ages now. We're not back in the 1960s or something. And he's using a racial slur about this lady. Didn't even need to. And I'm like, hang on a minute, you're not the person I thought you were. And then slowly but surely, you see that their banter is actually dark. It's not banter, it's dark, it's horrible. You know, they're trying to get Sean Cassidy to commit suicide. And mate, they're not nice people. They're just not nice people. But, you know, they come across nice because they know how to play the game. They fool you. They'll sort of like, you know, they'll pretend to be your friend and stuff like that. It's pretty much how you grow up in life. And you realise that people that you thought were nice aren't actually that nice. And, you know, so... But what was sorry, Immortal Hulk? Yeah. See, the thing is, fella, I mean, as a rule, I don't usually speak to people unless I know I'm speaking to.
It's Esau.
You know? Oh, sorry, Immortal Hulk. Sorry, who was the other fella that we were talking to? Was it Hopsky?
Popeye.
Popeye. How you doing, Popeye? You all right?
Oh, fuck, God.
So, Popeye, the thing is, right, yeah, I can't see your face. I don't know your name. Yeah, for that reason, you could say anything you fucking want. Yeah, it could be a complete load of bollocks. I've got no recourse to it, you know.
And I'm not like that.
Another avatar and another name. Why do you hide your face and why do you hide your name, bro?
No comment.
But there you go. I mean, for all I know, mate, you could be Ian Huntley.
Actually, but fuck, he's locked up, hasn't he? I'll be in the cell with him with a fucking mobile and sitting there like fucking. Nah, that's your.
It's happened before, brother. It happened before.
I'm actually Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, you're Donald Trump.
Upscape.
You're Donald Trump. Because you've got about the same amount of hair as him, mate.
So, fella, what else do you think you know about me?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying about the BNP thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, are you happy with my explanation on that?
I don't know yet. You know what I mean? I'll have to do a bit more research.
Yeah, well, do that research, bruv. Do that research, because at the end of the day, mate, I mean, what people don't seem to realise is that there were 2 BNP members in that whole group. And like I said, there were also other members of other political parties. But the 2 BNP members, after I spoke to them and after I put my side across to them, and they left the BNP. And the thing is, mate, I can't suffer a racist, because if you're a racist, me and you ain't going to get on. The simple fact of the matter is, mate, that if you can't see beyond the colour of someone's skin for the content of their character, then we're not going to be, you know, I'm not going to be able to have many chats with you. So I don't suffer a racist. The thing is, mate, there are people out there that aren't racist but are traditionalist. Yeah, I mean, as a rule, I've got no religious beliefs whatsoever, and I'll be honest with you, if you have got a religious belief, I sort of look at you and think you're an adult with an imaginary friend. The thing is, you're welcome to have that, and I'll still speak to you, and I'll still give you my time, and I'll talk to you as much as I can, as long as you don't try and push your imaginary friend on me and smite me with them or anything like that. Yeah. So I totally understand that there are people out there with differing views that have got funny ideas and whatever else. As long as they're fundamentally a good person, I'm fine with that. And I don't think that a racist or a paedophile or you know, a narcissist like that, and I hate using the word narcissist because that gets thrown around like bloody confetti at a wedding. But the point being, I'm not what they're saying, and they can't prove that I am, because I'm not. They've got no proof because there is no proof.
Well, 1 minute. This could be all lip service. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so
right. I'm just saying. I'm not saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But the thing is, I've given you stuff to look at, and I've given you reasons. Yeah, because is all you're working on is what they have exaggerated to you.
Correct.
Yeah, you're not working on any facts because there are none. So, before you make your judgment, get the facts, fella. Any other questions for me, mate?
I've got no questions for you. Shine. I'm sorry, cuz there's a geezer. You know that Shine. He's a right mong. Sorry about that, but he just annoys me. He's got the
Why
IQ
does
of
he
a
annoy
gold.
you, bro? Why does he annoy you?
He just thinks he's smart. Do you know what I mean? He's very like, you know, one of these people that horrible.
See, the thing is, if someone's smart, I mean, smart is good, but I suppose what you're trying to say is he's arrogant, I suppose.
No, he's just you know, sarcastic-ish.
Oh, sarcasm's good, bruv. Sarcasm's wicked.
Like
Lower
sarcasm's
form of
no
wit and all that. It's better that he was sarcastic than ignorant, though, wouldn't it?
Whatever I do, you know what I mean?
So what else are you talking about tonight, guys?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I never actually heard of you until all of this sort of internet interwebs drama llama surfaced. I mean, I never heard of you. I wouldn't even know if I was walking down the street and you walked towards me, I wouldn't even know who you were.
You could smell me, bruv.
I'll be honest with you, I try and keep myself away from all of these dramas and all of these accusations and postings and blah blah blah. I take each individual person, how I converse with them and see where they're coming from.
That's a good way to do it, mate. The thing is, though, I mean, would you warn someone of impending danger? Would you warn someone if you knew?
Well, it depends on what kind of danger we're talking about.
Okay, so
if it was
let's say
if it was physical or abusive behaviour, then I would be morally and duty bound to inform someone that, you know, be careful.
That's correct, bro. That's exactly what I was going to say, mate. See,
be careful.
If I knew that there was a person that was having a rough time, maybe a little bit vulnerable for whatever reason, mentally, physically, you name it, you know, they're let's say they're isolated, and a group of very predatory men befriended them, and that there was going to be a good chance that they would turn on them and diminish their life. Yeah, would you see that as a good thing to warn that person that the people that are taking him on as a friend will turn on him and will try and diminish his life to the point of suicide?
Hold on. I would offer words of advice.
Yep.
You can't lead a horse to the fucking trough and make it drink the water.
I didn't say you could, but what I did say was, would you warn them? Would you basically tell the horse where the water was?
Well, I'd just say to that person, listen, be careful with the company that you keep.
Yep. And so is basically
just be aware. Just be aware that there may be some individuals within that group that have very
bad
dubious intentions.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I do.
But then I'm not here. Listen, if you've got theological or political ideas that differentiate from others, I'm not gonna get involved in that, because I'm a firm believer that everyone that is compos mentis has the ability to make their own decisions.
Yes, the ability to, but maybe not the information required as well, though, fella. I mean, instance, if you ask me, I mean, I'm intelligent enough to sort of like work out a football match and blah 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 and stuff like that. But I hate football and I've got no information on it, so I wouldn't be the person to do that. Boxing, boxing all day long. That's my sport. I could put that one together, but certain people haven't got the information in certain areas. Would you agree on that one, bro?
Well, the thing is, I try and keep myself away from all of these dramas. I don't get involved. I don't invest any of my time in dealing with other people's problems and other people's dramas, because I've got my own to deal with first. And you know what they say, charity begins at home.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, that's like, can I throw one your way then, bro? I mean, you know, the walls at the door and all that. If you only look after home, the wolves come to your door a lot quicker. And the thing is, if you can help someone, you should help someone. I mean, you know, I totally get where you're coming from, brother. And it's a daily battle for me personally, because I get a lot of people ask me for help, and there's only so much I can do. And I've got to balance it with, you know, with sorting out my own life, just like yourself, mate. And I, you know, totally go along with that. But the thing is, if you can help someone, are you morally obliged to help them? I think you are.
Well, in a certain sense, yes. Yes, I agree with you on that. But there are caveats to that.
Yeah.
If you help someone, if you see someone that's in fucking need, you help them.
Yes.
But if they're like taking the piss out of you and you
But
feel
you
like
can't
they're like,
you can't pour from an empty cup. So you've got to make sure that you're all right so that you can help other people with their problems. And the thing is, what you've always got to remember is that some people's problems, whilst are nothing to you, might be massive to them. You know, I mean, I've been able to help people out of life-changing situations just simply with putting them onto the right piece of law, the right, you know, government department, whatever else. You know, you'll never know how much you help and affect people until, you know, the end result comes through, if you ever find out what that end result is. So it's good to help people as long as it's not to your own detriment. And that's what I try and do.
because you're doing that at a game, so you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Well, the thing is, right, I never do anything, and this is something I've gone with for years. I never, ever do anything for financial gain or with an intent to get something. Yeah, if I get a cup of tea from someone that I help, I'm thankful for it. And I don't know, every
So
time
how
I
do you
speak
get
to
paid?
someone. Sorry?
How do you get paid then? If you're
Well, I'm a counsellor. I'm a counsellor.
Well, and that's good money.
No, it's shit money, bruv. But I've got little wants. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do gear. Literally, mate, I live day to day. You know, money, and this is what I have to say to people time and time again: money ain't my god. You know, I've got no debts, but I don't owe a penny in the world. I haven't got a penny to rub together, but I don't owe anything, and I live frugally. You know, I'm the first one down at Tesco's in what I call a bargain bucket, getting the reduced stuff. Just, you know what I mean? It's like money is. I do actually hate money. I realise that you need it, you know, and everything's paid up, but money's not my god.
I.e., rent, gas, electricity, things like that. Once that's all done, water bills, all of that done.
Sorry, bro, you broke up, mate. Say again.
I said all you need money for is rent, gas, electricity, and things like that.
Pretty much.
And what's rest? You know, like your children, if they, give us this, give us that, you give it to them, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, my little girl. I'm a single dad. My little girl's really good. I've got a dog. Dog food, luckily, don't cost too much. You know, financially, I'm not flush, but I'm definitely not on my arse. And I'm grateful for what I've got. You know,
your child lives with you?
Get by. Yeah, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a single dad.
With you? I'm a single father myself.
Single dad, mate. Single dad. Good on you, bro. It's hard, isn't it, being mum and dad?
No, yeah, and no. I never used to like going to the schools. That's the only thing. Hated it.
Bro,
hated going to the schools.
I used to call them the schoolyard mafia.
Yeah,
the worst thing in the world. Yeah, they get there half an hour before the school opens to gossip. They're there half an hour after the school closes to gossip, and you're the gossip and whatever else, you know. But no, I mean, you know, I'll get me eyebrows plucked and me fingernails painted, because that's something my little girl should be doing with her mum, as I see it. I mean, you know, but that's my job now. So mum and dad. It's really rewarding, and I wouldn't have it any other way whatsoever.
Issues.
You know?
You've got fucking issues, man.
What issues have I got? Go on, tell me.
Mate, no, I'm joking. I know kids do.
No, I know you're joking, mate. I know. Bro, look at it this way, right? Yeah, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are female role models, but when she's sitting there bored and she's like, I really fancy doing your nails. Can I do your nails? Yeah, go for it. You know, I've not got a problem with that. I don't see anyone else should have a problem with that. And you know, it's what you do as a parent. You keep your children happy. You keep them motivated. You keep them inspired.
Agreed. Agreed. I got a feel there'll be something that's coming my path soon. But yeah, you have a little girl sky do that, they do to you.
Yeah.
Hard work.
Shit to my dad.
Boys are right, girls are hard work.
They made sure they got my dad. They made sure. Trust me. There's no escaping that.
When they're little, yes, they're all into princesses and all that. And then when they start getting into think, oh, for fuck's sake.
They used to put a tiara on my dad and everything, bro. Make him back.
Oh, it's when they start asking for horses.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, if they ask for horses, apparently their boyfriends won't be a problem for a few more years.
I said to my stepdaughter's boyfriend, I said to him, if you make her cry, I'm going to make you cry.
No, I know where you're coming from. I said to one of my daughter's boyfriend, I said, look, if you ever put your hands on, I'm going to fucking batter you.
I mean, what we're talking about, guys, it's like, you know, you've got life events and then you've got sort of like criminality. Because obviously, I'll be exactly the same as you gentlemen probably would be. If my daughter ever got clumped by any guy or anything like that, I'd want his head off. That's just the sort of like the indignant father in you saying
I'd
that.
be happy.
But then again,
happy.
how is your daughter going to learn about life if she never experiences, you know, adversity? You know, you've got there's so much that kids need to learn nowadays. You know, I mean, having children was the best thing that I ever done. But I look back now and I go, shit, man. You know, we shouldn't be breeding anymore. This world is so awful. This world is so shit. The one thing you're guaranteed to feel in life is suffering. You know, and when you look at the shit that's happening in this world, it scares the shit out of me. And I can't see how any
Do you know what? Do you know you waffle on, mate? You know that you do waffle on a lot.
Well, at least I'm talking, fella, eh?
Exactly. He's actually making sense as well.
Well, yeah, but yeah,
at least I've got some waffle.
Go on, carry on.
What would you go on? I'll tell you what. Everyone, be quiet and let Waffle Man speak.
No, that's your job. Go on.
See. So you're having a go at me because I can speak when you can't.
I was joking. What's wrong with you?
That's told you.
Well, how do I know you're joking, mate? You come in with that out of the blue.
I was just joking. I just joked.
All right. I took that wrong. Sorry. There you go. Yeah. Go on. You come up with the subject of conversation.
Bald heads.
Bald heads, right? You save a fortune in shampoo.
Yeah, I know, because my head's bald as well. So it's
wicked, man. Wicked. You have to spend a bit of time with the old Bic razor on it, but other than that, it's wicked. Makes you run faster as well because you don't have the, you know, you're aerodynamic. You don't have the old wind drag going through the hairs.
No, but do you know what? My baldness is a solar panel for my juicy middle leg.
Mate, there you go. There you go. You got it, didn't you? Like a baby's arm holding a Jaffa orange.
No,
so, Chris, can I ask you? I'm not going to call you Chrissy because that sounds a bit effeminate. Do you mind if I call you
Chris? Me Chrissy, fella. I'd like you to call me Chrissy.
Okay. So just enlighten me because I'm like I dip in and out of. I wasn't so much online this year, but last year I was really, really heavily online on the panels and stuff. So I hope you don't mind me asking, and I hope you can enlighten me as to why all of a sudden you've popped up out of nowhere as this person that has some quite apparently. And I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying. This is just an observation on my part. Is you've sort of appeared on certain panels and certain channels as someone that you know is quite far right leaning. So I just want to ask the question as why all of a sudden you've popped up and there's this sort of campaign to character assassination that has perpetuated out of nowhere. I don't really seem to, and I'm not someone who's going to sit here and go, oh,
No, that's
I don't
fine, brother.
I
That's
don't
fine.
invest too much time.
Yeah,
I just want to
okay,
ask that question, and hopefully you can answer it. You've probably answered it
Yeah.
already, and I don't want to flog a dead horse.
No, that's fine, brother. That's fine. That's fine. So, I've got a couple of questions out of that one. I mean, the one that I'll instantly like just to sort of, give my opinion on. Well, it's not an opinion; it's a fact on because it's concerning me. So, I can speak factually about myself. You said that I'm far right leaning.
No. That is, I'm not saying that you are. I'm just
Right.
making an observation from what I've read on
He's
certain
just
panels.
saying-
Right.
Yeah,
So I would just. I mean,
no
what
worries,
is your?
no worries. But the thing is, right, it's like, you said that, that is what you think from what you've seen.
No, it's not. It's not what I think. It's just what I have observed.
Okay, so what you've observed is quite wrong, because believe it or not, at the last general election, I voted Labour. Yeah,
Okay.
if I had to put myself in a political spectrum, I would say that I was centre left. Yeah, I've never been a member of any political party, and I very much doubt I ever will be. So, but I would be slightly more Labour than I would be Conservative. I'm centre left. So, people saying that I'm far right, saying that I'm BNP, saying that I'm a racist, blah blah blah. They're completely wrong, and that is just general smear campaign. That's just complete smear.
Are you
a
Freemason? Have you got anybody in your family that's a Freemason?
Yeah, my dad was a Freemason.
Because someone just put that up on.
Yeah, I'll speak about that openly, bro. I speak about that openly. I'm what's called a Lewis, which is the son of a Freemason. But I'm not a Freemason. I don't like Freemasonry. I've never been a Freemason. But my dad was a Freemason. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, and I'm not going to talk too much about my passed away father, but my dad was a bloody good man. He was a bloody good Freemason. And he quit all of a sudden when he got to the top of the tree. He got to what was called London Grand Rank. And when he got there, he spent not long there at all. And then one day, after years and years and years of doing really good charitable work for, the Freemasonry, whatever it is, he just come home and quit and never spoke a word about it again. And to this day, none of us know why. He was a good Freemason.
Yeah. There's a question here, right?
Hang on, let me finish the last one, fella. Let me finish the last one. So you're saying, why have I popped up? Well, I mean, there's a couple of, I can give you a couple of little snippets on that one. Why have I popped up lately? Because I've been on a Facebook ban, and so I've got more time, because obviously if I'm on a Facebook ban, I can't do as much on Facebook, so I've got more time. And all I've done is respond to requests, and I get quite a few, but I've responded to a few requests to come on and speak on a few, and I've been on different channels. I mean, the thing is, what you might be in, fella, is do you know what an echo chamber is?
Yeah.
I think you might be in an echo chamber. You might be in groups. Hang on, let me finish, bro. You might be in groups that only seem right wing leaning types and stuff like that, and that's where you're getting your info from.
Right,
and you're not seeing all the other stuff that I do. I mean, I've done a couple of decent interviews about environmentalism, Extinction Rebellion stuff. A lot of people won't know that. And the thing is, the people that are usually on these type of things probably aren't into their environmentalism quite as much. But that's where the environmentalists will go, well, I've never heard nothing about you and politics, because people get themselves in an echo chamber.
Right, I'm a central realist.
Yep.
Yeah? I don't adhere to any left wing or right wing ideologies. I'm a fucking central realist. I'm a central realist. And all I'm saying is that what I've observed, and I'm not going to sit here and make any sort of judgment against you. I've just seen quite a lot of what's the right word? Quite a lot of very sort of detrimental information pointed towards you. Now, I'm not going to take that on board, because I don't know you. I don't know who you are. And I'm not going to sit here and make judgment on you. But I see that yes, there are people out there. There are people with nefarious means that would do anything. They would go out of their way to discredit you and
Yep.
to ruin your reputation. And I get that, but I don't take that information on board because to me, everyone's got an opinion and everyone will say something if they don't agree with you. I mean, one thing I did notice that was posted up quite a lot was this piece of paper that said that you was affiliated to the BNP. Now, I'm not going to take that on board. I can look at that and say, okay,
Talking to
it's
them
just a
about
piece of paper.
Oscar,
It's just a piece of
Oscar,
It's-
it's just a piece of paper, and I mean, anyone could have
Yeah.
fabricated that. That
It's not
doesn't
even a piece of
necessarily
paper,
mean
fella.
it
It's a
doesn't
photograph of a piece of paper that has been faked.
that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true.
It's not.
This is what I'm saying, and this is the
So if it
ballpark I'm in.
Lehovsky, if it was true, then you're a compulsive liar.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not the type of person that sits here and believes anything I read on the internet. No way, no fucking way.
Listen, honestly, you know about gaslighting. What happens on there? One person who don't like him, someone goes on to another panel and goes, "Oh, that kid is a bit of a cunt," and everybody starts arguing that person because gaslight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's nothing that brings people together than a mutual hate. Nothing that brings people together faster than a mutual hate. And the thing is, guys, I mean, you know, I've got whole Facebook groups that troll me, and I mean, if you want to go right back to where it all started, the anti-bailiff stuff that I used to do. Now, I will help anyone out with a bailiff as long as they don't deserve that bailiff, and I especially help
But
out.
how did you get into that?
Oh, God, this goes right back. I mean, I've always hated them.
But how did you get into it though?
I'm telling you, I'm 5'9", and way back in the day when I was a handy little boxer, I didn't weigh well. I boxed at 9 stone 6, and I'm 5'9". And basically, you know, I always had to keep my weight down because I was a handy boxer and I could have a decent row, and I'd see all these what I call meatheads that can't ever fight, that do too much steroids and stuff like that, and they're usually the bailiff types. And you know, one time they burst into my mate's gym, God rest his soul, and tried to take his old gym from under him, and me and him almost had a stand-up row with all of them. They all looked at me as a skinny little kid. You know, I think I was 18 or 19 at the time. I got me bit in between my teeth from that moment on, and it just gradually progressed. Now, I'll help anyone with bailiffs, and because I got quite prolific in the anti-bailiff scene, I got sent a load of information about the can't pay, take it away idiots, which is one of the worst TV programs on telly. You know, it's fear porn. It's horrible. The average bailiff will go out to more single mums and vulnerable people than they will proper debts, what I call proper debts. You know, men that owe debts, men that are trying to get away with knocking people. They're the people that bailiffs should be going to see, not single mums that are struggling to feed their children, not elderly people. And that's what the bailiffs make their bread and butter on. Now, I got sent a lot of information on a bloke called Brian O'Shaughnessy. Now, Brian O'Shaughnessy, I don't know if you know, is nicknamed Fat Brian on Can't Pay, Take It Away. Well, he was one of the... That was me that blew that story. Yeah, well, Levi Belfield, the serial killer, the child rapist and serial killer. Now, Levi Belfield was good mates with Brian, and Brian actually got arrested in connection with those. Yeah, I can tell you some stories, guys. I'm not going to do it tonight. We probably don't want to hear it all tonight. But what I'm trying to say is I got sent photographs of Belfield and Brian O'Shaughnessy together. I got sent loads and loads of stuff, and I passed that over to the media. I blew that story. You can check my YouTube out. It will be there before the story got in the Sun, because I've done the story on my YouTube and I've sent the YouTube to the Sun, and the Sun was the only ones that had the bollocks to print it. And I hate that. I hate that because I hate the Sun, what they did at Hillsborough and the general rubbish that the paper is. But that then got me, the whole bailiff industry, trolling me. The bailiff industry, and funnily enough, guess what? Russell McGarry, and I will find it, Russell McGarry was getting paid $5 grand a quarter to troll people and give them free internet. And he actually put that in a text message to my mate and asked my mate, who was doing the same sort of stuff, if he wanted a start. You know, I can get you on this one, £5 a quarter and free.
Fucking bullshit.
I've got the screenshot of Russell McGarry speaking to my mate Jay about it. I'll have to find it out, guys. It's about 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago now. The point I'm making is the bailiff industry, because of what I've done to Can't Pay, Take It Away. I mean, you know that Delroy Anglin? I was the one that gave him the information about him being having cannabis grow and stealing gear out of the evidence room. That was also me. Then I found out about, what was the other one? There was another one that admitted to extreme pornography because he videoed himself getting a suck off of his mother's Dalmatian dog.
Wow.
Right? And it's all there. I'm trying to remember his name now. But it's all there, guys. And that was me that done it. You can check my YouTube. My YouTube videos were up before the papers got them because I made sure... Yeah, now that is what got me trolled from the start. The other thing that I did was I sat down one day and I came up with a parking ticket letter for private parking tickets that is still unbeaten today. It has cost the private parking industry literally millions and millions. They hate that letter. It cannot be beaten unless they change the law. It is unbeaten. You've just got to stick with it. I tested it 40 times before I actually gave it out to anyone else to test. I was going to my local car parks and begging for a ticket off of the parking knobs. Yeah, that is another one that has got me relentlessly trolled. Now, some of these trolls are paid, others aren't. Some of them have got no lives, and there are certain people that have come up again. Obviously, you know, the Braintree bullshitter and stuff like that. They have got nothing better to do, than sit behind a computer screen and spread misery.
But I thought that you was best friends with all of these lot, and I've heard on one occasion you saying, "Oh, that Russell McGarry's a lovely fella."
Right. See, the thing is, right, you can change your opinion as you get more information. They was never my good friends. What happened was the Braintree bullshitter approached me to help him with his absolute scary volume of problems. That guy falls out with everyone and finds a problem with everyone. He literally spreads misery wherever he goes. He come to me with problems about his council, about the police, about the courts. You name it, that guy had a problem for it, and he wanted my help with it. Where I'm a little bit of a sucker, I'm like, sorry, that's a text message of mine coming in. Where I'm a bit of a sucker, I went, you know what? Okay, I'll do what I can for you. I'll try and help you. And the biggest thing for me was to try and get the guy to have a bit of confidence, because he was a recluse. He was antisocial and stuff like that. And, you know, and he was like, "Oh, will you come to me to a police meeting?" And I'm thinking, like, you need a solicitor for that, mate. You know, they won't let me sit in on an interview. And he's like, no, this is a public police meeting. And I was like, right, okay. And he's like, "I'd love to go, but I've got no one to go with." All right, I'll go with you. I thought, yeah. So you go to this public police meeting with this guy. He then sort of like, is like, "Oh, thank you ever so much."
Inside chat, there's things like people saying, "Why did you have hidden phones with pictures on it, Chrissy?" I don't know what that's about.
No, neither do I. See, the thing is, you know, and again, fella, I can't speak about my children too much because I know there's people just waiting to sort of go, look, he's not, you know, there's the family court confidentiality gone out the window. We'll get him nicked. So I can't. But, bruv, there are no phones with hidden pictures of them. There are no indecent images. Phones.
Have you ever let a child in the bath?
No, no.
That's what I was trying to say to you earlier.
Yeah,
no, I mean, see, the thing is, you know, and if I ever had one of my young children in the bath, I would have boxer shorts on. It's not unusual for a parent to bath with their child. You put your boxer shorts on when they're little,
when they're babies, and when they get to a
Still a
certain
child.
age, you
It's
can't.
still a
Yeah.
child. I don't know why people even. Like,
Yeah,
who are
but
they? Who
and
is?
the thing is, this is how low they'll go. They'll take something that is a natural family thing, yeah, and they'll try and make it into something that's, fella. There are no indecent photos. I am not a nonce.
Okay.
My
All right.
children
Well, whatever.
love me. My children love me. I am a single dad.
I ain't got no issues with the Wasp and all them not over there. Yeah, I ain't got no issues with them. So,
Can I just put one word into that?
Boy went to prison for
Yeah.
harassing a woman.
Yet. You haven't got no problems with them yet. When they get bored, and I've seen this with my own eyes, fella, so I'm speaking from experience, not just from what I've been told or hearsay or anything like that. I've seen this. What will happen is they've got their own little clique. Yeah, they've got Squire 7, Patrick Byrne. They've got the Braintree bullshitter, Roy Blackburn. They've got Russell. They've got their little clique that they've known for absolute years. Yeah, that is the inner circle. And what they do is they let people into the outer circle. They let them people think that they are their friends, and then they turn on them. And the one I'll point out, mate, is Sean Cassidy. Sean Cassidy would come onto the Hangouts, yeah, because they'd invite me onto the Hangouts and say, Chrissy, can you tell us all about this? And can you tell us all about... And I'd go on the Hangouts and, it would be banter. Some of it is a bit near the mark, but was acceptable banter, what I'd call acceptable banter. But then all of a sudden, Sean Cassidy would come onto a Hangout and just go, guys, I've cut myself today. And they'd be like, and they'd be saying stuff like, "Oh, you should have fucking done a better job of it. Go away. We want to see the blood." And mate, it was horrible. And I'd be in there going, "Guys, sorry."
He did it on him. He did it.
Well, that's the thing, fella. That's the thing. I mean, and there's me saying, Sean, look, this is not the way to be. You don't want to be hurting yourself. There's enough out there that can hurt you without you hurting you. You've got to try and make yourself your sanctuary. I'd be trying to big the bloke up, and not even just to try and get the guy so he wasn't feeling isolated. And they'd be laughing in the background, telling him to hang himself and cut himself. Yeah. Now that is what you are dealing with, and that is wrong. That is scum. Yeah, and that on top of using the P word on a lady. I mean, the thing is, right? How stupid was this? They're using the P word. They don't even know if she's from Pakistan or India.
Yeah.
It's like me calling you Irish.
I'm
And
Irish.
that shows you don't sound Irish. You don't sound Irish.
My family, my mum and dad are Irish.
Right, no worries. Well, the thing is, right? You don't sound Irish, and
I'm born here, but my family are Irish.
Yeah. Okay, so if I called you Canadian,
it wouldn't bother
it'd be like me calling you Canadian. They're calling.
Mate, if you called me a cunt, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, but I'm not. I'm calling you Canadian. Canadian and cunt are two different words. But anyway, yes, going back to it. You're saying, you're going, oh, I've not got a problem with the Wasp, and I've not, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. I'm not here to change your mind, fella. They'll make you change your mind soon enough because they're actions. And the thing is, what you need to ask yourself is, morally, are you going to look at what they're doing and say, I can't be a part of this? Because ultimately, that's what I done. Yeah, I was like, hang on a minute. There's racism going on. There's horrible bullying going on. There's some homophobia creeping in on it as well. There's all sorts of, and I'm starting to think, do I really know these guys?
Yeah, but then as well, I've heard Brian call people the other day. He said to someone, fucking, what did he call the person? That was it, an Uncle Tom. A black person, an Uncle Tom. That's racist.
Is it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Ooh. Is it?
Yes, it's racist.
Okay, so
if you call a black person or a mixed-race person an Uncle Tom, that's racist. I live in fucking South London.
Yeah, I'm a Leytonstone lad, mate. So let's not go about, let's leave the old geography alone. See, the thing is, right, you know what an Uncle Tom is?
Yeah, of course I do.
Right.
Yes,
so
boss,
an Uncle Tom. So if I called someone an Uncle Tom, that'd be racist. But if I said to someone, you're a house slave.
Yeah, it's racist.
A house slave is racist.
Yeah, of course.
It depends on what race they are.
You do know that there are black and white slaves, don't you?
Yeah, of course I do. But I'm just saying, if you went up to a black person
calling someone, how is calling someone a house slave?
It depends on who you're saying it to.
Exactly.
Who's that? Urban.
Urban,
Yeah.
talk to him.
Can I Yeah, can I just chime in for a few minutes? Right.
Yeah, go on.
Firstly, yeah, Popeye. Initially, they did target you. Towards the end of the reels, you was targeted before you got accepted into the crew. Truth?
Yeah, I
They
was
said you was a
targeted.
channel
No,
ki-
that was
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was you was targeted. You was a channel killer. You was boring. You was this. You was that. Same with Hopsky. Hopsky was stealing stuff from from the PPE.
no, it
from
wasn't them.
hospitals and all that.
Yeah, it was when
Yeah, it was. Mate, it's the same, mate. They was on you and all, mate. Don't worry about that. But anyway, forget that for a minute. Chrissy,
Yeah.
how you doing?
How you doing, fella? You all right? Nice to meet you, bro.
How you doing, mate? Listen, I don't give my real name and I ain't got a picture, unfortunately. So you just hopefully you can just
No
listen
worries.
to
Also, I got to say
my
something,
thing.
Chrissy. He's a straight up shooter. Like you'll like this guy. Yeah, I mean,
But
he'll be
Chrissy,
he's direct, he's direct.
apparently, from Hoof, me and you have a friend in common, which is Crafty.
Crafty. Oh, God.
Kramer Craft.
Oh, I know Kramer. Yeah. I know Kramer.
Yeah,
How's he
good
getting
friend of
on?
mine.
How's he
To be
getting on?
fair, the last time I see him, he'd set up a company doing like a HGV doing like waste, some form of waste. He set up a company, but he changed his number, so I haven't spoke to him in quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I last time I spoke to him was got to be 10 years ago now, man.
Yeah, probably longer than that because I think he was away 10 years ago.
Just before he went away was when I spoke to him last. You know, crazy times they were.
But Hoof was saying that you actually played a part in him being arrested. But I
No.
can say, I know, obviously you know him, he's not the type to run around spilling the beans on all his business, but I was with him quite a long time in the Nick. Probably about 3 years. I was with him for about 3 years. And I never once heard him say, oh, some slag fucking grassed me up. I never heard
He
him
never
say
will
that.
because I'm not a grass. See, the thing is, mate, that was a messy old time back in the day. There was the Irish fella that was with him from
Paddy,
St.
yeah, I know
Neots.
Paddy. Yeah, I know Paddy.
That's
I
it.
know Paddy. He was there as
Yeah,
well.
I didn't want to mention any names, bruv, or anything like that. But
No, I know him.
yeah. I mean, I was nothing to do with what transpired there. It's just that obviously me having a boxing gym and being in the local area, I do know a hell of a lot of people, and I do get asked to put my head into certain stuff and mediate for people, let's say, and stuff like that. But yeah, no worries, man. If you see Kramer, send my love, man.
You'd probably see him before I did, but yeah, hopefully I'll bump into him one day. I had a good laugh. He's a funny cunt.
Mate, he's hilarious, man. He's hilarious. When he told me what he did for a living, I was giggling my ass off. I thought he was having me on. He turned around to me and he said, I'm a hairdresser.
Well, he had
And I'm like,
barbershops.
yeah, that's what, yeah. But just see what I'm saying? It was like, no, I can't believe it, man. I just can't fucking believe it. So, but yeah, there was.
But look, what it is, yeah. Let me just get straight to the point. Yeah, I've heard a lot of allegations made about you, and I've heard you online, and the way you conduct yourself doesn't match the allegations. Now, I'm not saying that makes you innocent, because you know people can be fooled. So, as far as I'm concerned, you could be guilty of the allegations. I just want to just clear up a couple of the allegations.
Go for it, mate.
Right. So, first off, the firearms. You had 6 firearms, Desert Eagle, all the.
With the internet,
Hello.
His internet goes, or it kicks him out of the group.
What's happened?
Looks like
someone's watching.
Oh, bloody hell, fuck off, man. Seriously,
well.
Interference now.
Sorry, this thing cuts me out. Yeah, can you clear up the 6 firearm thing, please? Hello?
Yo, what's happening, bro?
I can hear you.
Is Chrissy still there?
Chrissy, have you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, he's on mute. I don't know if he put his stuff on there.
Hello.
Yeah,
happened
Right,
now?
Chris?
Hello, guys. You all right?
Yeah, this
Did someone
Telegram
book me?
cuts you in and out. Yeah, sorry. Can you just clear up the 6 firearm thing? Because like, I
Absolute rubbish, bro. Yeah, absolute rubbish. I have not, never have any guns, bro. You sound like you sound sensible. If I had guns,
Well,
would the
try.
old bill give them back to me?
No.
What
Right,
an
the
absolute
thing
crock
is,
of shit.
the thing is, the allegation is, oh, he's an informer, so they give him back. No matter whether you're an informer or not, they would not allow them to go back on the streets. And that is
Exactly. No way.
that I know for a
See,
fact.
if
But
that's
is there
the
is there any truth to it at all? Or is it just
no, I
some
mean,
beef?
you know, for instance, you know, I had a my old man used to like a Western movie, and he had a replica Colt 45.
45. I knew he's gonna.
Yeah, that was my old man's cowboy gun.
Oh my god!
Right now, anyone with half a brain knows that if the police get a gun, they do not give it back to the person. You get nicked for it. Yeah. And the thing is, right, was that told to you by the same guy that boasts that he gave the Rettendon murder? He got the ammunition for the Rettendon murders.
No, he got arrested.
Well, he hasn't actually boasted, but he said that in a book called Blog 19 or something, someone mentioned him to have supplied the firearm. But I haven't actually read the book.
Allegedly, he was pulled in over the firearms.
So he said that as well. He said
That's all it was, allegedly.
Fantasist. Now, he has told friends of mine that he supplied the ammunition for that. Now, the thing is, right, if you did supply the ammunition for that, you would never tell anyone.
Guilty, is it?
Yeah. What's the next allegation, bruv?
Right, the other allegation is the sex doll.
Right, it wasn't a sex doll, it was a blow-up boyfriend. Now, if you have you seen the video?
I've seen the video, and let me just give you my personal opinion. I find it very distasteful that you've done that.
Okay.
I know it didn't have any organs for anyone to have sex with, but I did find it distasteful to have your daughter of that age to carry that around. Obviously, listen, I've made jokes and done things that probably I shouldn't have done before. You know, it seemed funny at the time. And probably looking back, they weren't so funny.
Yeah. Okay. See, the thing is, you know what they're trying to make it out.
But the main part of the allegation is that you was getting sexual gratification. The main part of the allegation is that you was getting sexual gratification for doing it, and that I haven't seen any evidence for.
Exactly. We didn't hear that on the video. That's just them making up. That's disgusting.
It's
like, Urban. This is the same man who made up that he knew your friend, like Chris. He said he knew him. He said he knew him.
No, he didn't say he didn't.
I was there.
He didn't say he knew him.
Yeah.
Wait, real. I'm gonna message real right now. Daniel,
I was there. Guys, let me talk. Guys, let me talk. I was there with my whole family. No one was in any way disturbed by that whatsoever. That was banter between me and my daughter. That was like a blow-up boyfriend. It was labelled as. And if you know the whole story, my daughter tried to basically every time I went to a boot sale with my children, I would give them a bag of coins. Yeah, and I would literally teach them boot sale. We used to call it boot sale rules. For instance, you walk up to someone and you must use please and thank yous. You know, manners cost nothing. And you ask someone, excuse me, how much is that, please? And if they tell you it's £1, the first thing you've got to do is suck your teeth and go. Then you get, you have a bit of a barter with them and stuff like that. Now, my clever clod's daughter basically left her money at home, thinking that she could keep the money that was at home, and I would obviously buy her anything. And she was right. Obviously, I will. I love my little girl, and I'll always get her whatever I can as long as it's within reason. But I noticed that there was the blow-up boyfriend now, and I knew that I could have a laugh. And I said to her,
"This guy, and there's stuff up there. Trust me."
Sorry, Dan, can we just get to the bottom of it?
1 minute, Dan. People are have your
I don't want to talk to this guy.
Do you want me to finish?
You're here, Dan. Go away if you don't want to talk to him. Go away. You click the link.
Sorry about that, guys. I've muted him anyways.
Do you want me to finish?
Yeah, Dan, can you wait, please? No, to be rude, Dan. Can you just wait? Can you just wait 10 minutes, please, Dan?
Yeah.
Go on, Chris.
What?
Sorry, mate.
Yeah, so basically, you know, all the trolls phoned social services, and the police got, you know, said, right, what's going on? We're being told that you've made your daughter walk around with a sex doll and she's crying her eyes out and she's all distressed and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And I'm like, do you want to see the video? They looked at the video and they went, mate, they met my daughter. They said that, you know, there's no problem. If that is all they can throw at me, how sad is that? Now, can I just quickly ask, gentlemen, Daniel T. Sullivan, is that the guy that was encouraging Russ McGarry to put up photos of a lady and her children?
Yeah, he's on mute now, Chris. So
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, but here's the thing, guys. I do believe it is Dan Sullivan, Daniel T. Sullivan, as it appears here. So here's the thing, right, guys? Yeah, you're over on the, you know, some of you are over on the Wasp channel and doing whatever else, right? And you pretty much know he's a wrong'un. You know what he does. You know that he's racist. You know that he's homophobic. You know that he's misogynistic and stuff like that. Dan Sullivan is one of those. He's recently threatened to put a woman's photos and her family's photos online and whatever else. And he's here. Now, I'm no angel, yeah, and I understand banter. But when someone's a wrong'un, why do you entertain them?
Yeah, but Chris, this is the thing. In the online world, things happen that you could either take left or you could take right. You know, it's like sophistry. You know, like you can either make it into something different or you can just accept it for what it is. And unfortunately, online and YouTube, people just create their narrative and just go with that, and then the followers follow. You know, so.
Yeah. But the trouble is, though, does that not diminish society? If you can get away with awful shit, I mean, half the stuff that a lot of people say online would get people a smack in the mouth if they was, you know, if they was physically there. Now, shouldn't we have the same standards of and morals in the online world as we do in a face-to-face world? Should we suffer people being absolute horrors, you know, online when we wouldn't suffer it if they was physically in the room with us?
When it comes to like malicious communications and bullying, yes, but I do think that maybe people should be able to express things that they wouldn't express in public. To get it out rather than bottling it up, you know.
That's a very good point, Rob, and I take that on board. But it's a very, very fine line, isn't it? Very fine line.
It is a fine line. It is a fine line.
You can turn off your fucking computer or whatever you're looking at it on. You could go.
No, you can do that, but you shouldn't have to. There are more good people out there. I believe that there are more good people out there than bad people. And the bad people should not make the good people disappear. The good people should have the testicular fortitude to turn around to someone that's behaving very badly, you know. And guys, you know, I'm no snowflake.
Urban.
Yeah.
This is what I was going to say. Sorry, 1 minute, Chrissy. I'm sorry about this. Yeah.
Urban.
It was. Do you know how all that started? That all started with Easy.
Yeah, and Raj, though. I think you called out Raj, and then they all went on the turn with you, I think.
No, he called me a nonce. I said I shit in your turban.
Raj on their panel as well. It was all like, yeah, fuck real, fuck Esau, fuck Brian.
Yeah, and they were like trying to shut the show down all the time, wasn't they? The old show. And any time I went on the panel, I was a panel killer. Nothing to do with me, but that was their narrative to try and get me off fucking. And these people, because
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You've experienced firsthand the twisting of the truth.
Yeah,
that's the point I was trying to get at, you know. So.
Yeah, no, because what it was Easy started had a problem with me, and he switched it around like he was all innocent. What I said to Wendy one night, I said, you got to watch Easy around women.
Yeah.
And she went, nah. Because what he said
at the time.
No, of course they wouldn't, because they thought that fucking he was butter wouldn't melt in his mouth.
No, it wasn't even so much that. It was more of like he's on our side against the Muslims.
Yeah.
It was kind of that. Do you know what I mean? It's like we have to back him because he backs us. And the problem was he was getting himself involved in arguments that had nothing to do with him, and then he couldn't handle the backlash from it.
Yeah.
You should back what's right. You should back what's right, not what's fashionable, guys. You know, just because someone's of your same religion.
A lot of people come online and they want social acceptance. They want to be part of the group. You know, they go against their own moralities just because they don't want to get called out, and they want to be a part of the group.
That's a question.
That's where they need help, though, not acceptance. They need educating about that, because to be socially accepted, if you're immoral, you're in the wrong social circle, then, aren't you? And for instance, people that are on the WASP, for instance, that are being accepted, that at the end of the day, I think we all know that when you get to the nitty gritty of the WASP channel, you're seeing horrible stuff like racism, like homophobia, like bullying, blah blah blah. I mean, this is nice, guys. This is really easy talking and informative.
On your own. Like have someone go on a neutral panel where you lot sit there and talk it out.
The thing is, though, I'll give them my. I'll give that. I've got nothing to say to them because fundamentally they're so flawed and they're committed to misunderstanding me. I've got literally, they would never agree with anything I say, not because I was wrong, but because I was me. So it's an untenable situation now. And the thing is, mate, I mean, I'll just give them an audience because people will listen to them because I'm on with them. My audience will follow them, and I don't want to give them any more energy than what they've grabbed in the first place. I've got 16,000 on YouTube. I mean, my complete social media is probably over 40,000 now. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a big audience. And if they're talking about me and I go over to talk to them, that's going to be a big audience for them. And I'm not prepared to give them my audience, my energy, my time, because I've got nothing.
You don't tell no one when you're doing it. All right, do it on a private then. Do it on a private chat.
Mate, they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it. Roy Blackburn's been saying that he's going to beat me up for fuck knows how many years. The guy who struggles to walk 20 foot with a fucking cardboard box. Roy Blackburn is a complete fantasist that, is telling everyone how mega hard he is. I literally know 12-year-old boxers that would beat the crap out of him. He's got something stupid like 20% lung capacity. Yeah, he himself has described himself as looking like a Belsen victim, which is a concentration camp victim for anyone that didn't know. Right, the guy is a complete fantasist. He literally struggles to climb a flight of stairs. Do you really think that man would be in a physical altercation? And not being funny, guys, I'm an ex-pro fighter. I wasn't a bad boxer at all. Yeah, I literally would kill him. That's why I don't want to fight him. I don't want to have anything to do with the guy. The guy sits behind a computer screen for the majority of his time, doesn't brush his teeth, doesn't wash, doesn't change his clothes, and literally spreads his misery. Yes. And I know this. And this isn't what I've heard. This is what I've seen. This is also what he has admitted to. And the thing is, guys, if someone admits to something, yeah, that is the top standard. That is the gold standard because admittance is everything.
Yeah, but you have to accept the fact that he might have admitted it to you in private, but we're not privy to any of that. So as far as
there's recordings of him admitting most of that, fella.
But listen,
there's recordings of him admitting most of that.
The last thing, is the BNP thing. I mean, the funny thing is, a lot of the following are nationalists, so I don't understand why there's such a big issue with you being BNP anyway. But,
bro, I've got to stop you quickly, bruv. I'm not BNP. I've never been BNP. I never will be BNP.
I mean, listen, I've seen these 2 bits of paperwork they've pulled up, and I know one of them for sure is photoshopped around your signature because you can see you can see the original signature behind it. You can actually see it, the shadowing.
Thank you. So
I know one.
exactly.
I definitely know one of them's Photoshop. The other one, it looks like it's Photoshop, but it could have been the crease before it was photocopied or whatever. But I don't find it.
Right. What is the other one with me? Me with a load of guys, maybe a few girls.
No, the picture's separate. I'm talking about 2 bits of paperwork.
I don't know what picture you're going. See, the thing is, right, I've never been a member of the BNP. I never will be, never have been, never was. Yeah? I have never been a member of any political party whatsoever.
But there is a picture of you with the BNP, though.
Right, yeah.
Right?
I was part of a non-political group that was against unsustainable housing. Yeah, in that group, there were people that had political beliefs from Conservative to BNP to Labour. Most of them, I think, were Liberal Democrats. All of them, and everyone is
it was kind of like a link up of different backgrounds to tackle one problem.
It was a lot of local people that didn't want unsustainable housing that none of the locals could afford, that we didn't have no transport links to get them out of the town. Basically, what I done was the place that I come from, mate. It's quite isolated. We've got no train station. We've got bad public transport. The roads are packed down here. Yeah, they're single lane roads, most of them. We've got a little bypass. You know, mate, the roads are at something like 85% capacity, which means they're rammed. We've got no train station, and they want to put 1,300 houses down here, and the 1,300 houses will be out of the financial reach of pretty much all the residents. So the people that are going to buy houses down here when they build them are going to be commuters, and the commuters won't be able to get in and out of the town. Yeah, it's unsustainable. You can't get a doctor's appointment. The schools are always absolutely rammed, blah, blah, blah. Now, there are people from all political parties and agendas that are against that, and I was one of them. I don't think that we should have 1,300 houses when we can't provide school, doctors, and transport links. Yeah. Now, in that group of people, and off the top of my head, I think there was about 400 or 500 people in that group. Yeah, that was non-political. There were a few BNP. There were a lot of Conservatives. There were a hell of a lot of Liberal Democrats. And basically, the BNP ones, when I found out they're BNP, I then got them to drop the BNP. I showed them the independent way. You know, I had to be an independent political person, which is what I am. So I don't get any.
In that picture,
they all thought, brother.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, see, they all thought that I was in there with them, when in reality, they was in here with me. Yeah, they didn't. Everyone was going, "Oh, Chrissy's now in a group with BNP members." Yes, those 400 or 500 other people, but they didn't make me BNP. I got them out of the BNP. I get no credit for that because I'm not after credit. I don't turn around and say, "Go on, bro."
See that photo though. I'm just going off memory. I could be wrong, but are they not all saying that they're BNP? So you was aware when you took that photo that they are BNP though, right? Because I think they was.
No, I was aware that I think 2 of them were BNP, but I spoke to both of them. I mean, I can't see the photo. I'm going on the photo that I think. And when you remember that day, there was a lot of people buzzing around. You know, there was more people than what was just in that photo. There was more than double the people when all the photos were taken. And that was to go into the national press and local press and everything. It was like, you know, these people are against unsustainable homes. Now, everyone because for instance, if I'm in a group and there's a Conservative in there, I want to find out whether or not they are a rank Tory or whether or not they just have Conservative values but are good people. So I'm not backwards at talking to people, so I'll always talk to people, right? And when I meet someone and they say I'm BNP, I then put them through a process to work out whether or not I think they're worth spending any time with, talking to, and stuff like that. Because I'll tell you now, I will not suffer a racist. I can't stand racists. The thing is, right, is unluckily, being a good-looking, bald white man, of middle age, most people look at me and they think that I'm a racist or a football thug. And the thing is, I can't stand either.
That's in your own head.
Self-praise is no praise, mate.
No, I know self-praise is no praise, but I am good looking. Everyone tells me, brother.
Yeah.
But when people meet me, they look at me and they probably make an assumption, and it's a wrong assumption, that I'm a football thug or a racist or both. Yeah.
You know the old saying, in the first 4 seconds of meeting someone, we judge them.
Yeah.
It's psychologists say that, you know.
And because I'm good looking, white and bald, I'll get that judgment. But the thing is, I actually like that now, because you believe it or not, when I first meet someone, I keep my ears open and my mouth shut. Yeah, and I'll let them talk, and I'll let them tell me what they think I am and what they think they are and what they think.
Chrissy, what about the woman downstairs from you, where the one with their husband was cooking some food outside, and they had the kids there, and you was filming them?
Right. So if you notice where the barbecue was, I've had nothing but problems with the neighbours. Basically, the neighbours are racist. That's how it all started. Yeah. And I've got this one particular Wally, and he sets his barbecue up facing my little girl's window. And basically my little girl turns around and says, "Dad, every time I look up, he's gesticulating, waving his arms around, pointing the fucking barbecue tongs and stuff like that." Now the geezer's a proper Wally, and I'm just like, "Babe, has he actually said anything that you could hear? Is he put his fingers up to And she's like, "No, he is literally just waving his arms around. I don't like it. It looks a bit scary. He looks a bit aggressive."
Right? But why would you go out there and film?
Hang on, I'm getting round to this. So I said to my little girl, I said, "Babe, there's nothing we can do about it. Don't worry. The guy's a Wally." I closed the curtains. Yeah. When I walked into the room, he's not doing it, strangely enough. I closed the curtains. So every Sunday I go and meet someone that I have to have a work meeting with the next day. It's our regular thing. Most Mondays I have the meeting. Most Sundays I have the pre-meet to discuss what's going on in the meeting, to go through the agenda. Yeah, it's a council thing. So I said to my little girl, "Look, you don't want to be, it was a nice hot day, you don't want to be in here. Let's go get something to eat. I can have my meeting while we're eating, blah, blah, blah." Now, the only way to get to my car is to walk past him. And I was just certain, because they'd been warned about they'd been breaching fire regulations for months, and they keep on getting warned, and they've been threatened with eviction if they don't stop breaking fire regulations, blah, blah, blah. That's to do with them and the landlord, not to do with me. No, not the barbecue. Things like having a bloody fridge on top of a fire exit and stuff like that. But anyway, so I need to get to my car, and I'm just certain that this guy is going to mouth off. He mouths off to me regularly. He's going to mouth off to me, right? The old bill, the council, the housing association have told me to record everything. They've told me to do that. They do that as a matter of course. Now I'm walking past with my little girl, and he calls me a nonce and my daughter a whale. And that is how it started. The reason I was recording him was because I was certain he would abuse me and my daughter, which is exactly what he did. You could tell he was building up to it all day, the banging, the crashing from upstairs, and then standing out, literally setting the barbecue up, facing my little girl's window. And when she looks up, he's waving his arms about, sort of mouthing off to her. Yeah.
Chrissy, do you think, Chrissy, do you think that you could cause an argument in an empty room?
Yes, I know I can.
Well, sometimes you're running into things, and you should just let stuff go sometimes.
Okay, so, bro, let me. Have you got a daughter?
Yeah, I've got a daughter.
Okay, so you're walking along the street, and for no reason whatsoever, you've not said anything. A geezer calls your daughter a whale and says he's going to kill you, and calls you a nonce. What are you going to do, bro?
I'll clump him, but that's my thing.
Right,
you know
okay, so I've got more.
But why?
No, hang on. I've got more restraint than you, then, haven't I? I've got more restraint than you. What?
You're saying what you're saying. Like, look, this is what I'm trying to say to you. The guy was there, he was with his kids and his missus, and something like, he never said, well, he was saying something like Free Willy or something. correct?
No, he called her a whale as well. But the Free Willy is a whale, isn't it? It's a killer whale.
Yeah,
the thing is,
whale.
bruv, if he hadn't have said anything, I didn't say anything, and I wasn't going to say anything. I was literally walking to my car, and I was recording it because I knew he'd say something, because he usually does. Yeah, and when he said something, that is the whole, and then that's the rest of it. Now, you've just said that if you was in my situation, you would have clumped him. So I've got more restraint than you have. The thing is as well, and I've got the recordings too, as they're walking past my front door, they're calling me a cunt, they're calling me a nonce, they're calling me this and they're calling me that. They're spitting on my windows. Right? How would you deal with that?
I'll just clean them.
I'll blast my gun in his face without shooting it.
Right? Now, I think I've been pretty well restrained. Because guess what, guys? I'm not an idiot. You know, I completely understand that anything that escalates the situation isn't good for myself, my little girl, or his kids. And the thing is, right, I'm the one that has to say to him, your kids are here, mate. It wasn't him.
Sometimes, do you think sometimes you might be orchestrating it a bit?
No. How am I orchestrating it? I walk past him, right, to get to my car with my daughter, and he calls me a nonce and her a whale. How did I orchestrate that? I'm allowed to leave my house to go to my car, aren't I?
Films.
Sorry? What'd you say, bro?
Oh, forget about it. I'm not getting into it. Yeah, I mean, that's your shit
No,
anyway.
no, I mean, there's no getting into it, really. Yeah,
No,
I'm walking to my car, minding my own business, and he calls me a nonce and my little girl a whale. Yeah. Then he tries to slash me across the face with a barbecue tong and threatens to kill me. How am I out of order for that? He is the one that's accepting the caution for it and has coughed to it completely.
Okay.
He doesn't even live here. He's a guest here. He doesn't even live here. He is a guest here. And yet again, him and the other middle, neighbour on the middle floor, they're racists. Again, they wouldn't, but they're the sort of scum that wouldn't make it onto Jeremy Kyle. They're too rough for Jeremy Kyle. Any other questions, guys?
I quite like Chrissy. The way you've spoken to like Hopsky and Popeye, what you've heard from Chris is from those fucking assholes. Yeah, completely different ways.
See, I haven't got nothing to hide, really, folks. I really haven't got nothing to hide. You know, I've had an interesting life. I've had loads of experience in my life. I've had an interesting life. You know, but I'm me. You know, everyone knows my name. Everyone knows my face.
Do you know what I mean? I'm aware of what you're saying. But I'm just saying, it's like, there's no smoke without fire. Really.
No, but there is smoke without fire. Popeye, the thing is, mate, yeah, I could find anyone that could turn around and make an allegation about you that is complete bollocks. And that is exactly what happens.
And Popeye,
there is smoke without fire. That sounds lovely, but in reality, mate, it's complete and utter bollocks, mate, because I'm living that. Yeah? I'm living that. The police have given me back guns.
Yeah, what they're
the
saying
police have given me back guns. Obviously, there's smoke with fire there, isn't there?
I'm not getting into it because I don't really want to argue with people.
Hello?
Yeah, hello, I'm here. No, I don't want to get into it.
Bro, it's not an argument, mate. We're discussing.
We're discussing,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, guys, it's like, people bring this stuff up, and I do hear it a lot, because everyone wants to sort of like, I've heard this and I've heard that. I want to know. And when they actually start realising that they've been lied to.
I don't really want to say it. Popeye, ask Morris, this is what they're saying, what about bedtime cuddles with your little girl? And don't tell mum.
Right, bedtime cuddles. See, the thing is, mate, is my kids and me, cuddles were never in short supply. I used to have. Are you going to let me finish? Are you going to let me finish? Are you going to let me finish, guys? Yeah. Yeah. Right. So in my house, there was something that I used to call bow-legged Jesus. Yeah. If my kids couldn't sleep for whatever reason, I would have one in one arm, one in the other arm, and my Staffordshire Bull Terrier would fucking whirl his way in between my legs, like a, you know, and literally be in between my two legs. And I used to call it bow-legged Jesus. And I would sit there or lay there, sorry, for hours, not being able to sleep until all of them went asleep, and then I would get up and go to my bed. If I was on the sofa bed, or if I was on my bed, then I'd be down on the sofa, you know, whatever. What is the problem with a father letting his child, and it wasn't just my little girl, it was both my boys. And do you know what? I've even got a few videos when I'm doing a video of my little boy coming up and saying to me, "Daddy, can I sleep with you tonight?" Yeah, what is the problem with that? What is the problem with that? There's no...
I'm not saying anything. This is what's coming in the side chat.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, bro, it's like, you know,
a guy called Large Hands. We clearly a Large Hands, like fucking. Yeah. You know what, McGarry.
But I don't know. It's like,
if you don't allow your child to get to get a cuddle when they're distressed, or if they've had a bad night, or if they can't sleep, you are nothing of a parent. Right, and that is not me. I live for my children. I live for my children. And if any of my kids said to me, "Can I have a cuddle?" Not a problem. Yeah, I you know, and that would happen with my other half in the bed as well.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason, yeah, I mean, for instance, right, if I wanted to watch something, and I mean, the one that I'll bring up is Game of Thrones. Right, I think Game of Thrones is brilliant because it's a way of sort of teaching history to children, because almost everything that's happened in Game of Thrones has happened in history. Maybe not with the dragons and whatever else, but you see where I'm going with that, right? And my little girl loves Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones has got some horrible shit in it, and I would have to watch it first to decide whether or not she could see that episode. Because if it was too gory, if it was too porny, because they had some fucking porny bits in Game of Thrones as well, yeah, I would not, you know, I'm not letting my little girl watch that. So, for instance, right, if I needed to watch Game of Thrones, I'd have to do that when no one else was in the room, because, you know, my boys were too young, my little girl possibly too young for some of it. I've got to be the censor to that.
You've got to be a censor. Like if you was going to a movie at the cinema, it says a certain age group, you know, like PG, parents' guidance, so the parent would have to be with the children. But with a lot of stuff, I've censored stuff for years and years and years with children. Do you know what I mean? You know, like even if 9 o'clock, the watershed and all that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, mate, I mean, here's one for you. Here's one for you. You know Jaws?
Yeah.
You know Jaws, the movie? That film's ruined me. Jaws, the original Jaws movie, 1977. That film fucking ruined me, right? I will never swim in the sea ever again. And I love swimming. I go swimming regularly, but I will never, ever, ever swim in the sea, because the moment I put my big toe in that fucking water, I'm hearing da 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 da. Now Jaws today, I mean, is it a 15? Is it a 15? I don't know. What PG? You know, Jaws. People, I'd let them watch Jaws. I'm like, fuck off, mate. That ruined me as a child. You know, I think it's, you know, your child, so you've got a certain idea of what they can, you know, what they can handle, and something that might upset a 15-year-old, you know, that's a snowflake, will be nothing for a 10-year-old that, you know, isn't a snowflake. For instance, you know, some kids are more sensitive, and it's not always about age and stuff like that. You know. Any other questions, guys? Because I'm going to bed soon.
Yeah, can I just have 2 minutes to just clear up my opinion on what I think of everything just quickly? I'll be very. I'm not this, Chris. You've took a lot of shots. You've answered every shot. You know, like this is just my last little bit. Yeah. So basically, look, the allegations they've made against you, the allegations they've made against you, and the allegations you've made against them. As far as I'm concerned, neither of you have provided evidence. So as far as I'm concerned, they're on both sides. All they are is allegations. Yeah. Now I've heard them say that they're in contact with your ex, and I've heard them say that with this guy downstairs, they got him on their stream or whatever. Now, I find it a bit iffy with people's testimonies because especially when it's not being presented at court, because I know that when you fall out with people, a lot of people will fucking lie and try and fuck
sideways.
Maybe that isn't the case. Maybe that isn't the case. I don't know. So where I don't know, I can't. I don't accept them two testimonies basically because it could just be that you've fallen out. The thing that I find,
I'll get that, mate.
Suspicious. The thing that I did find suspicious is the last time you came on this channel, you came on to address these people. They never came on to defend themselves. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if people in the YouTube chat were aware, but in the back chat in Telegram, there was a plot to make sure between people to make sure that you couldn't be heard. And every time you were speaking, they was telling each other to make sure that they spoke over you so you couldn't be heard. Now, what would be the need for that other than to silence you? Right. So that's number three. And the fourth one or the third one is I was told and someone else was told that listen, we've got evidence on Chrissy Morris in the if you come in our hangout, we can provide the evidence, right? But a man come on as the name Rodney, and Rodney is involved in them back chats and stuff, and all he could say to you was he had heard. Now that to me shows that he hasn't seen any evidence, because he said he'd heard. If he would have seen evidence, he would have said, "Chrissy, listen, I've seen that, I've seen this, I've seen that," but he never.
Been to jail for harassing a woman for 8 weeks. So
there's no evidence. There's no evidence on that.
Right.
You may know
have you heard?
As far as we're concerned.
One second, Urban here, so Urban, he knows the story.
Bro, have you heard the DWP tapes from the Braintree bullshitter?
I have, yeah. But again, I don't know.
And you don't take that as evidence?
Yeah, but I don't hear
what in the DWP
else on the
interview?
other side. It could have been, but I didn't hear anyone actually interview him, and it could have been like he could possibly say, "Oh, it was like a parody" or something like that. You know, there's no way for me to confirm that was actually.
Well, it wasn't because, whatever he said. But at the end of the day, bruv, it's like I keep saying, it's admittance, and what he says, what he admits on that tape should be enough for you to form a reasonable suspicion. You know, if you don't want to, that's not a problem, bro.
Chris, I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think that there was a suspicion. I'm definitely sure there is a suspicion. I can't confirm it, but things don't add up. You know, so.
All right, ask yourself this one thing then, bro. Ask yourself this one thing, He has he's made a load of different claims and stuff like that, right? If he isn't what I describe him to be, why does he not show his face or give his name or want to give his real name?
That picture.
Well, to be fair, everyone does know that his name's Roy Blackburn, so we can't. Really
right. So
people do actually know. He might not want people to know, but everyone does know.
If he's denied that's his picture. If he's denied that's his picture, why doesn't he prove that and put his camera on for a whole chat so we can see him in front?
I've got my reasons why I don't want to put my camera on, so I can't actually hold that against him, you know.
But you're not making the wild claims, though, bruv, are you? You're not making those wild claims.
I know,
you know. So I mean,
my final thing, and then I'll
myself in the shop
window. Popeye, my last thing, and I'll let you have the floor. Popeye, if you go and, I know you're sensible, if you go and score some drugs off of someone, like around the manor, and then you get online and you say, I just went and bought drugs off of that person on a public forum, is that sweet grassing or dry snitching?
Dry grassing, dry snitching.
100%. All right, sweet, no problem.
It's fucking idiotic, whatever it is. Absolutely idiotic, isn't it?
Yeah, no problem. Go on, boys. Crack on.
Listen to this. My friend,
Bro,
was in Brixton.
Andrew.
Don't go yet. Listen, Urban. My friend was in Brixton prison.
No, go on, I'm here for 5.
He was in Brixton prison, and they had the paedophiles and the nunces, and they would go around the cage because they had a special cage for them. And someone shouted out the window, "You fucking dirty nonce." This geezer goes, I'm not a nonce, I'm a grass.
Oh, well, that's the thing, guys. I mean, you know, if you know how the game works, when they get a nonce in, the old Bill will turn around to that nonce and they will say, "Mate, even the fucking, you know, even the burglars, the lowest of the low, even the proper scumbag criminals." Will not have anything to do with you. You are a nonce and you will only ever be accepted by other nonces. So we are going to make it easier for you. You tell us, you spill your guts and we'll be, you know, we'll drop this. We'll make sure you don't get time. I mean, you can get caught with a million
There's
fucking
loads of
dirty
people
images
out
of
there
children.
like that.
There's
loads of people.
Popeye, if you was in the shovel, yeah, and you was on the wing and you bought a bit of gear or something, and then you shouted down the wing, I just bought drugs off this person. What would happen to you?
You get served.
Be on the numbers.
You'd be on them cucumbers.
Chrissy, last question, Chrissy. You know when Hoof applied for his conviction to be looked at, was he successful?
Yeah.
Or no?
So again,
was he successful when he applied for his conviction to be looked at?
No. See, this is what a Wally he is. Yeah, he puts himself out there like he's some sort of like barrister, and he does know a few little bits and bobs of law, but he didn't realise that if you plead guilty, there is no appeal. Yeah, unless you can prove that they had a gun to your head when you cough to it. But admittance is everything. Yeah, if you've pleaded guilty, but you've got to prove the rest.
Under duress.
Yeah. Sorry?
If they made up evidence against you, just say the police made up evidence against you, and it was under duress, and because you knew that you was fucked anyway, and it said, I'll plead guilty.
Right, but no, if they made up evidence against you, the thing is though, bro, if they make up evidence against you, you're going to say that's made up evidence against me. If you say that you are guilty, you are taking away any chance you've got of being found not guilty, because in law, admittance is everything, and you've literally, got to prove that they had a gun to your head.
Yeah,
but if you say
you can't get once you say guilty. Yeah, that is it. You've got no chance of appeal.
If it was not guilty, if you went not guilty and you said, "Oh, the police are fitting me up," what the police do, or no, the prosecution do, bring out your last 3 previous convictions. So if you've been arrested for that same offence before, you're fucked because it sways the jury.
If you've got previous convictions.
Yeah.
But that's if you've got previous convictions and blah blah blah, and the disclosure laws aren't that, bro. Disclosure laws aren't that simple. I mean, you could put in for a mistrial there and then, if they did that, because your previous acts don't actually come into the offence you're being charged and tried for. Criminal law is something I'm all right with. Don't get me wrong, I'm no barrister, but criminal laws I'm quite good with. And the simple fact of the matter is, he pleaded guilty and then tried to say, "Oh, I want this sentence looked at," which is absolutely crazy, stupid. I mean, have you seen that other knob that they've got over there, Jamie Barnes?
Yeah, Bops.
Yeah, Bops. Right. I've got a video of him. Yeah. Absolutely off his fucking nut, saying to people, go into any court for any charge, click your heels 3 times and say, "I do not consent," and you'll get off of it. Mate, that's the sort of Wallies you're dealing with.
All right.
Right now, I think we've got that video, haven't we, guys?
You see that geezer, that Danny fella? The big Danny, yeah. He said, if you knocked a policeman's hat off the other day, he said, if you knocked a policeman's hat off, you get arrested for fucking attempted murder. All right. Yeah, you will, won't you? Fucking attempted murder for knocking a policeman's hat off.
If they're in a bad mood, the most they can get is assault on a policeman.
Full police, yeah.
Assault on police. That's the worst. If you knock a policeman's hat off.
What was that?
You can't really. He's not well though, mate.
Well,
You know what I mean?
the thing is, mate, you can't.
what it is with the fella, yeah. He's not well, yeah, and he's jumping from place to place, and with women.
Right. Can I cut across you, bro? Can I cut across you? This happened to me the other day with a fella. I can't remember the bloke's name. I think it was that Raymond, actually. Right. The moment you know that someone's not the full ticket, yeah, that they've got mental health problems and stuff like that, don't do this with them. Literally, wish them well, cut them off, and be nice. Because what if they top themselves and blame you for it? Now you could have had a complete, you could have had a debate with them. Honestly, they'll do a suicide note and they'll pin it to their chest. They'll get a staple gun and they'll put it to their head and fucking put a note on their forehead. Seriously, guys, if you've got someone that you know has got mental health problems, yeah, wish them well and give them a wide berth, because this is not the place for it, because you don't know what they're going to do after. You don't know what you might say. They might misconstrue and stuff like that. That's why when you realise someone's drunk, yeah, it's like, mate, they're drunk. They're going to say something stupid, and you're going to encourage them. You're going to be seen to be to have encouraged them. So that's where, guys, if you know that Dan has got the mental health problems and whatever else, and do you know what, right? That Wasp and all them lot, they have got up to about 4 or 5 people now that have got bona fide mental health problems. I'm talking Linden Centre patients, told them that I'm going to, for instance, kill their mum, and then convince them that they need to stab me. That's what they do. That's what the Braintree bullshitter and McGlitter, that's what they do. They wind people up to try and have a pop at you. And they'll pick people that are vulnerable that they can manipulate.
You know what I noticed? They find vulnerable people, trigger them to say something, and then hold them against them and report it to their family and report them to the police and all that.
Yep. And the thing is, guys, I've seen it with Sean Cassidy. Yeah, I've seen it with Sean Cassidy. They are like a fucking very nasty alley cat with a fucking baby mouse. Yeah. And see, the thing is, right, why do people stick up for them? Why do people stick up when they know that they are bullying vulnerable fucking people with mental health issues? Yeah, is it going to take one of these people, committed topping themselves for them to be stopped? It shouldn't have to be that way. Just don't give these energy vampires your time, because what happens one day when you're on a hangout?
It's for the best.
I mean, what if they push someone to hurt someone else, not just themselves?
Yeah, but Chris, what they tend to do is go for people that are already hated so they can get away with it. You know what I mean? It's like going to murder a paedophile. You can half get away with it. Do you know what I mean? Like socially.
Yeah, yeah. The thing is, though, I mean,
I ain't got no issues with
but it's one of them things that no one should be doing to anyone.
I ain't got no issues with them. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going to knock them.
Just use your head, man. Like whatever doesn't hate them.
But why haven't you got no issues with them? Why haven't you got no issues with them, bruv?
Chrissy, yesterday I celebrated because one of
I
my
haven't got no issues. There's people. I have no issues with fucking Esau.
Hang on, Esau. Hang on. Right. Sorry, Popeye, go on. Tell me why you've got no issue with them.
No, because I go on their show now and again. That's all. I'm just saying. I ain't got no issues with them.
You know what they're doing is wrong, yeah? You agree what they do is wrong. You agree what they do is wrong, yeah?
No, some say it's just a fucking have a drink and a giggle. That's it.
They branded this man a paedophile.
Yeah, I know, but it's gone beyond drink and a giggle, mate. Drink and a giggle is fine.
They've done the
but
same.
This is targeting. Listen, bro. This is targeting vulnerable people, yeah, and encouraging them to injure themselves. Yeah, that's wrong, mate. And you're encouraging them by going on there.
No, what you're saying?
You've got more responsibility.
There's no one on there that does that.
Sorry?
Well, Sean Cassidy, when he come on, what happened with Sean Cassidy? I never knew him when he was over there. Sean Cassidy come over to Reels. This is when in the beginning sort of thing. When he comes to Reels,
the trouble. That's what started the trouble. Popeye.
That's when they all come over.
Yeah, they followed him over like a bad smell.
They was happy to have him on their channel, but they didn't want him on it. And what happened was, any channel Sean went on, they went there and they done it with everyone. Anyone that they was targeting, any channel they went on, They went and targeted her.
Sean was
a
their
pattern.
entertainment. Sean was their entertainment.
Yes.
They used a vulnerable man as entertainment. That's why people shouldn't have anything to do with people that do
They told me
that.
about you last year before you even came online. They told me about you. Joe Chrissy Morris is. That's what who said to me last year.
Listen,
And
don't get me wrong,
Buddy
yeah.
and
If they believe that there's something that the public should be made aware of, yeah, then it's right for them to do that. I'm not going to say that it's wrong for them to do that, but like once you've gone onto a channel and you've explained the situation, that's it. You haven't got to keep targeting them, making videos, this, that. It's just like where does it end? Like I was part of the fucking.
It ends with someone topping themselves. It ends with someone topping themselves or hurting someone else because they've been led into it by them and things going really, really bad. The simple fact of it is, if you know that someone's doing something wrong, you don't actively encourage them. Yeah, you mate, if you can't do anything about it, you don't do anything to help it. And the simple fact of the matter is, they find vulnerable people, yeah, and they bully them. And they get them to, mate, we all know what's happening. And the thing I'm struggling with, guys, is if on this channel now, we all decided to pick on someone and try and get them to commit suicide, I would be leaving and I wouldn't be coming back. Yeah, and that is what's happening with Wasp. Yeah, that is what they do, and they cover it up with, oh no, it's only banter, when we all know it isn't only banter. That, I mean, the only one, because after the Sean Cassidy thing, I went, you know what? I'm not having nothing to do with this. If they're doing this to people, that's not me. I want to help people. I want to educate people.
All right. When I first heard about them, like, yeah, when they first come over, I said to Sean, I said to them, like, you're fucking bullying him. But then when I see how Sean was working, he wasn't. He's he's got issues in his life, yeah, and he was playing the game. He wants the attention. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative.
He does.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, the thing is,
right,
though,
the thing is, right,
he's mentally unstable. He's not like a normal person that you can hold.
He thinks the King of Scotland the same.
Exactly, but that's
right.
Understand
this, right? And this is the same with trolls, and this is the same with Sean Cassidy. There is only one thing worse than bad attention, and that is no attention. Right? The worst thing for Sean Cassidy is to be sitting there with no one to speak to, isolated. That is his hell. Now, going to the Wasp and being bullied like that, yeah, is better than being completely isolated. But what he doesn't realise is that he will eventually be put in a worse place than isolation. Yeah, they'll bully him to the point where he's got no out, and that is what I can't be part of. And that is why I speak up against it.
He jumped onto Reels years ago, yeah? When he jumped onto Reels years ago, about a year ago, wasn't it a year ago? So he jumped onto...
About 18 months.
18 months, yeah, 18 months ago. So he jumps on. When he jumps on, he's all right, he's comical. Deadpool, his name was. So he was doing what...
longer, yeah, he was about 2 years, sorry.
Yeah. So then what he done, he started targeting women in the chats, he did it on the what's it now, on the Wasps, and this is where you don't get it. He was targeting women, and he went to one woman's house and he robbed money off of her.
Oh, that's off YouTube, man. Who cares about it? That's all off YouTube. Seriously.
No, but
whatever you do off YouTube, that's him.
Popeye, listen, yeah. If he was preying on vulnerable women and getting them to pay money, then yeah, he should be exposed for that, so he doesn't do it to anyone else. But like, you've exposed him. That's it. You don't need to carry on exposing him. You go to each channel, you expose him one night only. It's done. It's over. People look at him like sideways. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's not trust this cunt. That's it. But to keep going on and on. But the thing is, it's all right for him to go on their channel though. If he goes on their channel, he's sweet. But if he goes on any other channel,
everyone else's, he gets stronger. Exactly. And they call him out on their channel as well for him to come on. Like they actually purposely look at the videos he's done. Look, call Sean, bring him. So let's go on Facebook, hang out. They're bullies.
No.
And when it happens to them, they cry. Like they are now. Now I've got Roy's picture up here again. Fucking is. They can take down Being Hot's picture in the chat. They're taking a piss now. So I'm gonna start taking a piss again. Do you want me to start?
Guys, always beware, people. Yeah, and I'm not saying that everyone is dodgy because you know, I think Urban said that he ain't got his photo or name up and stuff like that. But at least he sounds like he's a real person, if that makes sense. Now, always beware someone that goes to this level but refuses to identify themselves. And I don't think Russ McGarry would want anyone to know that he was Russ McGarry. That's why he'll hide behind the Wasp and stuff like that.
To be fair, a lot of people on this community have known that he's Russ McGarry for a while, and he's never denied it. So I can't go with that one. I know he calls himself Wasp, but he does openly say he's Russell McGarry. He openly talks about his channel, his Russell McGarry channel. So you know, like
that tells me he's just got no shame, fella. I mean, see, the thing is, and we've got the audio again. He was talking to Tom Arter. He was having, I mean, you know, he was having a chat, not even as sort of like as contentious as this one. Yeah, he was chatting to Tom Arter, and Tom Arter had his daughter in the room, and Russ McGarry, and you know, you can hear him say it, you know, the words of his own voice and stuff. Russ McGarry turns around and says, "Where's your hand?" to Tom Arter, and Tom Arter's like, "What?" And he went, "Have you got 4 fingers up your daughter?" Right, now that's Russ McGarry telling this story. Yeah, why would any man have the thought in his head that a father would have 4 fingers inside his own daughter? And the daughter was underage, I believe. Yeah, where's that come from? What sort of horrible shit goes through your head to think that? I personally have never and would never think that. It's like, what?
I know, but Chris, you'd have to provide that clip.
Okay. Well, I mean, one of you guys, I mean, we've all got it. Is there one of you? I don't know how to work this.
I've got it. I'll play it on my video.
Yeah, I will.
After this.
Bro, how can I get it to you?
No, listen. No, I've got the video. Yeah, about the 4 fingers.
Say again, Brian.
I've got the Kit Kat video. Yeah. As soon as this stream's done, I will play. My word.
So why would any man have that in his head? I mean, they're chatting away like we're chatting now. If I turn round to anyone here and went, "Oh, by the way, you've got 4 fingers up your daughter," blah, 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 everyone would be like, "What the fuck? Where the fuck does that come from in an ordinary person's brain?" Now, you know, there's these old sayings that, you know, your nan and your granddad and your mum and dad used to say. I love some of them. Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah? And I'm telling you now, the Braintree bullshitter, yeah, all right, Russ McGarry, Patrick Byrne, you know, and I mean, Squire 7, Koch, he went mad when people found out who he was. They all want to try and keep, they've got a reason why they want to stay anonymous, and it's not a nice one. They're shadow workers, guys. They'll take the piss out of vulnerable people and encourage them to commit suicide. Do you realise how wrong that is? That's awful. That's awful. Then Sean Cassidy was there to try and combat his isolation and to make friends. And fair enough, I don't know him. He might not be a very nice person, but I do know that he doesn't deserve to be encouraged to commit suicide. Yeah.
Listen,
when you realise that they treat that as entertainment, that's entertainment to them.
Well, when I started looking at first, I thought that was all right. When I started looking at things a little bit differently, and seeing things a little bit different, someone I know who's known them a lot longer than I have, and I said to him, "Look, what's your opinion on them? Because I just want to know what like I take your word like quite seriously. So what do you say?" And all they said was, "It's all a game to them. It's all a game." And then I took that in.
Yeah.
I listened, and then I realised.
I think there's a darker thing behind it.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you, it is a game to them, but I think there's a darker agenda behind it. I think there's a much darker agenda behind it, because, like I just said, birds of a feather flock together. And bruv, I mean, I'm not going to go too far in it. I'm not on a channel that's mine, or I don't know how far Real wants me to take all this. But at the end of the day, guys, they are blatantly wrong. We all know they're blatantly wrong. And yeah, they come across funny. They come across funny and banter and all that to start off with. But the moment you scratch the surface, you can see that they are absolutely vile. They're absolutely vile. You shouldn't be telling people that are self-harming to commit suicide. Some of the stuff they come out with is fucking awful. And I'm a man of the world. I can do banter all day long. But there's got to be a point where you get that moral understanding that you cannot be a part of that. And the thing is, don't give them your energy. It might be funny to listen to them for half an hour or whatever else, but as soon as you start realizing it's never too late to turn back when you're walking down the wrong path. Yeah, them guys are absolutely vile. They've got no morals. They, I mean, they're sitting behind a computer screen having pops at people that need help. Not scorn.
I agree with that. I completely agree with that statement. Whether or not there are allegations about you or your
And guys, if you've ever got any questions, I know I'm a hard. Yeah, well, listen to the voice. Listen to the voice clips, mate. Listen to the stuff about the Kit Kat that Russ McGarry. See, the funny thing is, right? Russ McGarry was talking. He said what he said about the father putting 4 fingers up his daughter as an excuse to get out of what he actually done, which was expose himself over the internet when he was drunk one night to a child. He was talking. I got sent a photograph, of him saying to an underage girl, "You show me yours, and I'll show you mine."
Well,
right now, we've got that. You can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but with all due respect, though, that's just a picture of him with his top up. Like, for an outsider like myself,
history behind the picture.
History behind the picture. I know, but Issa, what I'm saying is, as far as an outsider is concerned, it's a picture that could be completely unlinked.
The history behind the picture. Why has Russell got a top of going?
Yeah, Urban. You've got to use your brain on it though a little bit, because obviously anything like that. I mean, you could be taking a piss and someone could be saying you're having a wank, for instance. You know what I mean? It's like, what you've got to ask yourself is why was it that it took him 3 days to come out with a story? That photo went up, and in 3 days he disappeared. Now, if that was completely innocent, if that was something else, you can instantly turn around and say, "No, mate." For instance, whenever anyone says to me, "You're BNP," I go, "No, I'm not." I don't go, "Oh shit, I'm going for 3 days and I'm going to come back with a story," because I don't need a story, because I've got the truth. And the thing is, mate, it's like, if you listen to the audio of Russ McGarry going on about the Kit Kat, you'll hear him say, I know the one that Chrissy Morris was talking about. Chrissy Morris was talking about when I was talking to Tom Arter and blah, blah, blah. Right? So he's actually giving you an almost as bad example of the story that I was told to explain that story. It's like, hang on a minute, how many other noncy things are you going to come out with? Because I find that noncy. Asking a father, has he got 4 fingers up his own daughter? That's fucking awful.
Chris,
and Russ McGarry's got his head.
Chrissy, while we're on that topic, sorry, I've just got a quick question for Chrissy. While we're on the topic of the, you think what's the saying about the 4 fingers? So if you look back yesterday, there's been a recent discussion. You don't need to start again. Yeah, so yesterday there was a recent discussion about an allegation that was made against my uncle. So basically, my uncle was accused of molesting a child. He went through the court system. It found out not to be not guilty. It's more than likely to be the kid's father who absconded to the Philippines and killed himself. So anyway, none of these know any of the facts of the case. I've told I've told them all about all the details. That it was a 2-week trial. First, we were saying that the trial collapsed, which it never. It was a 2-week trial. It went through jury. The boy accused my uncle of masturbating him on the couch. So Brian, for non-stop for the past 2 days, has been saying that my uncle was wanking and masturbating and ejaculated into a kid's face. Now, do you not think that's sick? Yeah. That I've told Brian the facts, but Brian's going around saying that my uncle has
Obviously,
masturbated and wanked into a kid's face. So do you not think that Brian's sick for saying that?
Yeah,
hang on. Right, can I respond, guys? Yeah, obviously, you know, if that happened and the description of that happening, that is sick. Yeah,
sick.
I don't know the case. I don't know you. Yeah, I know Brian, but not very well. You know, is all I can say is that without, you know, a lot more information, I couldn't make any judgment whatsoever.
I can tell you the whole story. I can tell you the whole story.
Yeah,
let me
jump
in for 1 sec. Yeah, Luke. Yeah.
Go on.
The allegation, obviously, it come out whatever way about your uncle and all that, and as far as I heard, you was very open about it, and you talked about it. And if what you're saying is true, then at the end of the day, it's your uncle, and it's nothing to do with you anyway. But
no, even if it was guilty, for instance, it won't have anything to do with me.
No reflection on you, bro.
No.
The thing is, though, Luke, yeah.
Brian's trying to put on him.
1 sec. The thing is, though, Luke, yeah. If the other part, if you would have fallen out with the other party, yeah, they would have used that against you as well. They would have done exactly the same as what Brian does. Now, I'm not condoning what Brian done. Saying that.
What other party are you what party are you talking about? Sorry.
If the shoe in your own foot, faggot, you do the same thing. You would go, Brian's uncle, Brian's uncle, Brian's uncle.
Listen, he ain't come on and insulted. He's talking. Let's just talk like adults.
Yeah, come talk properly.
I'll try until he starts.
So what I'm saying is, Sean, yeah, I don't condone what Brian said, especially if there's no evidence. Yeah, like you're right, that is disgusting. And I'm not defending anyone like that. But my point is, yeah, it's like, how can you go against Brian for what he does and not call out them lot for what they do? Because the thing is, if you would have fallen out with them, they would be using it against you as well. It just so
my beef's with Brian, and this case is like a real case. What you're saying, what Chris is going on about with Wasp is just a made up thing. He's just said it to like piss somebody off. Mine's actually a case, and he's trying to drag me through mud, and he's trying to like make an innocent guy. So.
Look, you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, yeah.
I am listening. I don't think you're listening. I think you're just a bit too biased. I don't have any. You think I've got an affiliation with Wasp and the Hive when I don't. I don't have any affiliation with anybody.
Look, you're being biased. What I'm saying to you is, yeah, that I agree with you. It's wrong of Brian. But what I'm saying to you is the other side have done equally disgusting stuff.
So then you could just.
Wait, but I don't hear you saying anything to them or about them. You're just tunnel vision to Brian because I don't know. Maybe you want a pat on the back from the rest of the gang. I don't know.
Yeah, he does. He wants to.
This is my. I'm talking about myself here. I've just made it clear that I've got no affiliation with the Wasp or the Hive. I've got nothing to do with anybody other than myself. The reason why I'm coming on here, is because Chrissy mentioned that it's disgusting for someone to say something about that about a child. So I wanted to know his opinion on Brian saying that about my uncle.
Yeah, but you sort of same panel where they say something about Chrissy's daughter.
So you should sit down and shut up, you little girl.
Look, can I just end it on this, yeah? If you hear other people that you get on with do equally as bad stuff as Brian,
if I've heard it, I'd call it out. Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would.
Yeah, good man.
No problem.
Good man. Right, guys, Urban, can I just speak to Luke for 2 secs? Can I speak to Luke for two?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm
done. Right, so Luke, thanks, Urban, and I love what you said, by the way, bro. Right, Luke, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, getting there, fella, getting there. Tired now. So the thing is, Luke, is with all things, I mean, there's only really 2 people that know what happens between 2 people, and that's obviously the pair of them. You know, one person can say this happened, the other person can say that happened. You've got to have supporting evidence from that. And a lot of the time, and this is why a lot of sex cases fall down, it's because there isn't any supporting evidence. And it's usually one person's word against the other. You know, did they consent? Was it rape? Blah, 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 blah. Stuff like that, mate. We all know that. So the thing is, what you should be looking at is you should be looking at a general moral boundary. Yeah. Now, if you're looking at, for instance, people on the Wasp channel, you're looking at people that bully, that are
I don't know why you're deflecting. You're deflecting. I've not seen any. The only homophobia I've experienced is from Esau and from Brian. I've not experienced any from the Wasp or the Hive.
Okay.
You lying bastard.
I think Chrissy, what you've got. I think Chrissy, what you've got is you've got a major beef with Gary. and you keep
criticism
deflecting
hard.
everything back to them when I come on you to address a beef with Brian.
Why?
That's why you
Right,
jump
guys,
to do with the
Luke
Wasps.
speak, please. Can me and Luke speak, please?
And as you can
Me and
tell,
Luke,
whenever I'm on,
please.
Esau just gets triggered and he just speaks and speaks and speaks.
Esau, let me and Luke speak, please. Esau, let me and Luke speak. Luke spook? Luke, let me and Luke speak, please. So, Luke, see, I've not got a major beef with McGarry. He is literally nothing to me, mate. I know what he is, and I actually pity him, just like I do, Roy Blackburn and most of them over there. Because what they are, mate, is they are internet trolls that sit there and get pleasure from bullying vulnerable people and basically causing misery. I'll pity him for that. I've not got no beef with him.
But you don't. All right. That'd be good if that's your moral stance. But then why do you appear on Brian's channel on the Dream Team, who constantly bully women? Do you know what I mean? They've been saying about me. Listen, no, 1 minute, Chris. They've been saying that I've been abused and molested by my uncle.
Uncle got charged.
Right, guys, please. It's just me and Luke for 2 minutes. Let's get this one done because everyone talking over each other makes it shit. Yeah. Right. So I was asked to go on Brian's. I get asked to go on a lot of shows.
You went to Speaker's Corner with him at Lark. Come on, don't pull. You can't pull the wool over my eyes, Chrissy.
There's no voice all over you, fella.
He could call you tomorrow, and you'd be on his show within seconds. Like at the drop of a hat, you'd do what he says.
I go on a few people's shows.
Well, that's fine. But then don't call out other people for bullying when you associate with his mate, the biggest bully on YouTube. And you're just talking like chirpy cheap.
Me and Luke, just for a minute, bruv. Please, it's me and Luke. So, Luke, I've never seen any bullying on Brian's channel, and if I did, I'd call it out.
You've never seen any bullying on Brian's channel?
Now you're saying
you've been on the panel where you've been bullied, where you've all bullied people. You've been there.
I've never bullied anyone.
And people bullied Dan on this panel. Nobody's
bullied over there.
You've been saying that Dan was getting bullied on Wasp channel. Yeah, Esau and Brian bully Dan more than I've ever seen Wasp or Seven, for instance.
I've only seen Dan today. Please don't blame me for other people's stuff. Yeah, I've never seen bullying on Brian's channel. If I did, I'd call it out.
Because you're blind, because you don't
you know
to see it, Chrissy. And to be fair, Chrissy, what I think about you, I think you're a bit of a bully, Chrissy. I think you call people, you call these organisations, and you give them beef, and you put them on the spot and ask them questions. You pretend to be alter egos, and you make them really panic, and to the point where they don't want to say the wrong thing in case they fucking lose a job. And you're sat there with it all on live stream, and you fucking get the buzz over it. I think you're a bit of a bully.
I hold them to account.
No, you don't hold us to account. Okay. These are people who paid probably minimum wage to answer a phone and take a phone call, and you fucking bully them.
If I couldn't find people that do that job, then maybe I'd get through to people that I could change things.
No, maybe if you get a proper job and stop being a counsellor, then you may have something to do with your time and fucking waste it.
What's your job?
I'm a team manager. The only counsellor that I've ever known was somebody from Inverness, and he was a fucking scumbag. He was a fucking scumbag. He used he absolutely used his position to fucking try to benefit himself and B to fuck the fucking local council over.
To do with me?
No one's been bullied.
Well, now that what I've heard about you, yeah, it does. It sounds very similar to the council that I knew.
Sorry, are you a team manager?
I'm a team manager.
No, you don't know me. You've not spoken to me for 5 minutes. You don't even know me. You've got a massive bias, fella. You've got a massive bias.
No, what I've been listening to for the past hour is you and your massive bias constantly referring things back to the Wasp and the Hive. So I've just come on to put you on the spot to ask you what you think about Brian. You've not really given me another answer, a real answer over there. If he did do it, it'd be disgusting. But then you jump straight back on and diverted everything back to the Wasp and the Hive.
You hate yourself.
If he did do what?
With all them lot. If you research Brian online,
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. No comment.
I've researched Brian.
All right, Chrissy, you must know about Brian's. You must know about Brian's criminal history, stealing £1,000 for the Day Children's Charity, Chrissy. You must know about that.
Yeah, I've spoken to him about it.
So what do you think about that, Chrissy?
I've spoken to him about it.
Yeah. So what's your opinion on it all? You might have spoken to him about it, but what's your opinion?
My opinion of that is between me and Brian.
Right. So that means that you've got. So that means that you have got. What do you mean? What's my full name? My name's Luke. You'll be able to find it if you look hard enough. You'll be able to find it.
Yeah. Are you an angel, Luke? Are you an angel?
Presley.
Potentially, yeah.
Are you sitting in a glass house throwing stones? Are you sitting in a glass house?
I'm sat on the deck and smoking a joint.
Right, well, there you go, mate. You're a criminal.
Am I a criminal?
I mean, now, you know, by your own admission...
How am I a criminal by smoking weed? You need a conviction to become a criminal. Yeah, that's have I been convicted for it? You know the law, don't you? You sell cocaine from what I've heard. You sell cocaine from what I've heard. And not only that, you make your daughter walk around with a sex doll. You punish your daughter for getting her pennies at home by making her walk around with a sex doll, and you get a buzz out of that. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You're a fucking nonce. You're a nonce. You're a fucking bald-headed, bold rat nonce.
That's really intelligent.
Yeah, you're a fucking pervert who gets a buzz out of making his daughter walk around with a fucking naked doll. She must have been fucking shamed.
You're a drugged up idiot. You're a drugged up idiot.
And you're a fucking pervert. You're a pervert. No wonder you hang around with the fucking dream team. You're a pervert. And you're a pervert. You're a fucking baby rat with no hair. You've not even got hair on your eyebrows. Pervert.
So why do you come on here to draw attention to what your uncle did or didn't do?
Because you're a pervert.
No, I think you like talking about sexual stuff.
I've got a video of you walking around. I've got a video of your daughter walking around with a sex doll while you're giggling away.
It's not sex doll, it's a black boyfriend.
Yeah, pervert.
But I think
you'd like your daughter to give you cuddles in bed, but she's not to tell mummy. Don't tell mummy about these cuddles that we have in bed, daughter. You can come upstairs and cuddle daddy, but don't tell mummy. You're a fucking nonce. You're a creep, and that's probably why you're fucking a counsellor, so you can't get. So you fucking hide shit. You're a corrupt counsellor.
Something that apparently didn't happen that your uncle did that was a sexual offence whilst smoking drugs.
Yeah, and you're diverted. We've got a video of you walking around with your daughter, making her hold a sex doll because she forgot her pennies at home. And you said as punishment, she has to walk around with this sex doll. That to me is beyond fucking perverted, and you're a bald-headed creep. And you're a bald-headed creep, and you're a bald-headed pervert.
You're a drugged-up idiot, Luke.
And you're a bald-headed nonce.
You're a drugged-up idiot, Luke.
And you're a bald-headed nonce. And you're a bald-headed nonce who's come on here to fucking slag the wasp and hive off because you're fucking obsessed with him. And you come on here to suck Brian's dick. Blah, 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 blah. All you do is lick ass. Chrissy, you've got nothing. You've got no conviction. You're a fucking bum. You're a fucking bully, and you've got no mates. So you come online to try and make some. Get a fucking life, you bum.
I'm so much of a bully that
get a proper job, you bum. Go and get a job.
Oh, you haven't got a
like you just said before.
Did you say
you fucking script grave? Go to fucking Tesco. Go discount out, you fucking scruffy bastard. Yeah, go to fucking Tesco. Fucking reduce out. Whoops out. You fucking scruff.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
you fucking body because you don't have a proper job, and you can't give your children any fucking holidays and shit because you choose not to have a fucking proper job, you bum.
I've just come off a holiday with my children. I've just come off a holiday, you idiot.
Yeah, just come off a holiday. Touch him. I hope you didn't buy any more sex dolls, you pervert.
You're on here bleating about your uncle wanking in some kid's face or whatever.
Oh, so now you've got that image in your head. Well, now you aren't you? So now you've got that image in your head.
So there was an allegation that your uncle was masturbating a child, and you're on here advertising it.
Listen, at least I don't go to Speaker's Corner and get a fucking erection because you've got a fucking bit of a. I'm getting a bit of not acknowledgement, but you're walking around and you're getting a bit of a buzz of speaking to people. You'd rather be with a 30-year-old kid for the first time going to a fucking carnival.
Is your uncle a sex offender?
Well, would you say somebody would require a conviction to become a sex offender? You know the law, don't you? You know the law, don't you? Would you require? It's not. No. Would you require a conviction to become a sex offender?
Is your uncle a sex offender?
Did your daughter? Did your daughter? I've just said no.
I've asked you a dozen times. No. Is your uncle a sex offender? And you will not deny it.
No.
I am drawing.
I've just denied it about 13 times there. No.
On your quiet.
He is not a sex offender.
Is your uncle?
No. He is not a sex offender. Right, that's about 17 times I've answered that now.
How do you know?
How do I know?
Because
I went to the because I was there for the 2-week trial, and I was there when the jury took 25 minutes to deliberate and came out and said not guilty. Did you make your daughter walk around with a sex doll? Did you make your daughter walk around with a sex doll? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Did you walk around? Did you walk around the cheap car boot market making your daughter walk around with a sex doll? Yeah, you did. Because you admitted about 30 minutes ago. You fucking you bald-headed rat. You bald-headed Nazi rat. You're a bald-headed Nazi fucking rat. And your fucking boxing record. You fought 4 fights. You got 1 fucking TKO against a fucking shitbag. And somebody made his debut fight and fucking knocked you the fuck out and retired you on your 4th fight in 1992. You fucking big shit house. You got you got knocked out, mate. You got fucking knocked out, mate. You got knocked out. And you lost your ear, you've never grown it back. Yeah, you're nonsense. Listen, you've all got a video of you, A, telling your daughter to come upstairs for cuddles, but make sure that she doesn't tell her fucking mummy, and B, making your daughter walk around with a sex doll. So the only people who's got a fucking unhealthy obsession with sexual fucking things is you bald-headed fucking nonsense.
You are a paedophile.
And you're obsessed with fucking wasp. And you're obsessed with wasp. You want to fucking suck his dick, don't you? You want to get on your knees and suck wasp cheese, you fucking paedophile. You'll stick to your own fucking family. Stick to your own family. Yeah, you nonce. Listen, I might have some horrible shit in my head, but I won't make my daughter walk around with a fucking sex doll. That's one fucking level that I won't stoop to, mate. I won't stoop to that level, mate. The only inflatable my daughter would ever walk around with is a fucking Lilo when they take her to the beach. You make her walk around with a sex doll, you fucking nut job. You fucking sex case. You fucking sex case. Right, I'll let you all go. You all get triggered about me because I've just mentioned all again. Chris is a nonce. Esau's dad don't love him and his mum's a crackhead. And Brian cheats on his wife and doesn't have autistic kids.
You're a paedophile enabler, Luke. You're a paedophile enabler.
The police had to interview about his uncle. That's disgusting.
So yeah. Once the guy couldn't speak to me intelligently, he has to start with all that. I thought he didn't have any bias or anything.
I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into people that.
His uncle's trial collapsed. He's on here talking about, it doesn't make sense. Listen to him.
No, what it is. This is what happens, yeah.
Yes, Popeye, you're vouching for the wasp now. That's what he's doing.
All of that. I'm not talking about the wasp. I'm not talking about it. What it is, it's all tit for tat. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. And then I'm going to find better information on you than anybody else and all that bollocks. That's all it's all about. And who can be the fucking better at it? I don't want to know anyway. Because do you know what?
What I've been doing, yeah, is answering every question and answering, truthfully. That's what I've been doing. I've not been slating anyone until they start slating me. Yeah, I was quite happy to talk to that Luke and discuss it all with him, and we was doing it quite well. But as soon as he realised that he weren't going to get what he wanted, which was a rise out of me, he had to change it round to abuse. Yeah, I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that. Right, I'll step up. Right, I'll step up with that. And what I've been trying to I've been trying to talk about is how we should act, how we should look after people that are vulnerable, how we should be. I'm doing positive stuff, mate, and you get Luke come on just to try and completely wreck and hijack the conversation. Wasn't me, mate. It was him, and I'm not doing that.
I tried asking you questions, but you kept diverting back to the wasp, so I could never get a real answer for you. So just thought, fuck it, let's go Jigglypuff. And you got Jigglypuffed. Yeah, you are going to bed. Don't touch your daughter. Make sure you sleep. Separate beds, please. Separate beds. Yeah, separate beds, please, Chrissy. Separate beds, please. Make sure you sleep. Separate beds. Yeah, and make sure you don't have. Make sure you sleep in separate beds to your daughter, mate, because you know what you like to get up to.
You're a paedophile sympathiser.
And you make your daughter walk around with a blow up door, you fucking nonce job. You're a nonce. And you're a nonce. Well, there's a difference between being a paedophile sympathiser and a paedophile, and you're the paedophile. Bye. Get to bed. Go to bed.
You are bringing attention to the case. And that is for your own sexual gratification, Luke.
And you're bringing attention to the fact that you're going to bed now and your daughter's up there, so good luck with that. Be careful.
Sexual gratification. Why you would even want to bring that up if it never happened is beyond me. It's because you get sexual gratification from that. Night, everybody.
Yeah, and you get sexual gratification from making your daughter walk around with a blow-up doll.
Go away, Dave.
Oh,
Right, but